weather has come to Napanee, and so have we for one of Elkhart County's great rivalries. The boys from Middlebury, the Northridge Raiders, have come to visit the 4th-ranked Northwood Panthers on this edition of the 46th Game of the Week. And how you doing, everybody? Alongside the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt and Angelo DiCarlo on the sidelines, it's Chuck Freeby. And the fact that we're in blue tonight is no accident. We want to join the Michiana community in paying tribute to Eli Coyne, a Northridge lacrosse player who died in an automobile accident almost 2 weeks ago. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Coyne family. And that kind of emotion probably played with the Northridge football team a little bit last week. I don't want to take anything away from Mishawaka. Keith Kinder's team beat them. But this is a Northridge team that is 2-1 coming in here tonight, and Chad Epley believes he's got a pretty good football team this year.
Yeah, they're definitely a very good football team, but there was definitely a lot of emotion last week in that game and all week leading up to that game as well. And I think that emotion has settled down a little bit. They came out here, they're a lot more focused, and I know Coach Epley's talked about it all week about being focused for this Northwood team.
And you better be, because he looks over and sees what's on the other sideline.
Well, their speed and athleticism is the biggest thing. I mean, you talk about two kids that are committed to the top 2 schools in the NCAA. I mean, those are hard to contain in themselves, but I mean, they have other kids on their team like Trey Woods, and then their quarterback, Owen Roeder. I mean, he's a dude in himself. So we're just going to try to keep their offense contained as much as possible.
The Northwood Panthers are the talk of Michiana in 2023. They are ranked number 4 in the Class 4A poll. They have not 1, but 2 Division I players on their squad this year who are going to not just the number 1, but also the number 2 football team in this week's college football poll. And yet, that said, this is a really good team with talent at every position.
Yeah, when you talk about this team, you got guys that are 1 and 2, like you said, but you have the 2nd-ranked quarterback on this team in the state of Indiana as well. But the one thing that Coach Andrews preaches, team, team, team. They want to stick together. They want to play together as a team, offense, defense, and special teams, the 3 aspects of the game. And you got to play together as a single unit, as a team.
And you know why? Because Nate Andrews knows what to expect from the guys from Middlebury tonight.
Easy series, there's no doubt. And they've gotten us when it counted. And we're working on those things. We know it's a long season and it's a process, there's no doubt. This team has a lot of players at a lot of different positions, and I don't see any weaknesses. This is a really good team. I think last week they were a little bit emotional. You can't, when you play, you're emotionally spent, and you play a Mishawaka team, that's not usually a good combination. I look for them to be firing on all cylinders right now.
Angelo DiCarlo roams the sidelines. Man, you got more stories to tell than Shakespeare tonight. But I think the biggest one is this. The last 2 years, the reversal between the regular season and the playoffs is over 50 points between these 2 teams. Explain that one to me, Lucy.
Why are you asking me questions that are impossible to answer? You can't explain it. You got to expect the unexpected. And again, yes, Northwood won the regular season matchups last 2 years in blowouts. And then Northridge came back and won the rivalry game when it counted the most in the playoffs, ending Northwood's season each of the last 2 years. Northwood hasn't forgotten that. They want to win this game bad, but Northridge wants to cement themselves as well. But you can't explain how exactly it works, and that's what makes this so fun because, yeah, Northwood on paper should win, we think, maybe, but this rivalry shows anything can happen.
Who's going to be happy tonight? The team that is the Raiders or the team that has a Raider? We'll find out. We've got the St. Joe County Police Department pregame show and the keys to win next on the 46th Game of the Week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Bill's Heating, Health Markets, Tony Letcher, St. Joseph County Police Department, Martin's Supermarkets, Tire Rack, HealthLink, Raising Cane's, Crown Trophy, API St. Andrews Products, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. This place on fire as the Northwood Panthers come running out through the students. Time now to look at our St. Joe County Police Department pregame show with our keys to win. We'll start with the visitors from Northridge, who come in with a record of 2-1. And the Raiders led on offense by their quarterback, Braden Clark, the 6'1", 195-pound senior, completing about 60% of his passes for 621 yards and 5 touchdowns. He can also run the ball a little bit. And defensively, they rely heavily on linebacker Brock Thompson, 6'2", 220, and a senior. 22 tackles on the season, but 6 of them for loss and 4 sacks, and they really need him to get pressure on the QB tonight. The keys to win for Chad Epley and the Raiders.
The keys to win tonight for the Raiders, first and foremost, they cannot get beat deep. There's a lot of weapons on this Northwood team and a lot of speed. They cannot give up that long ball, and they need to grind it out on offense. They need to take up some clocks, sustain some drives, keep the ball out of Northwood's offensive hands, and no charity. They can't give anything free away. No penalties, no free first downs, no turnovers. Keys to win for the Raiders.
As you look at the Raider captains and you see number 5, that's McLean Miller, their top running back on the year, but he will not play tonight. He has a back and hamstring issue that will keep him from playing in this game. However, the Northwood Panthers have all their weapons at their disposal, including the explosive Nitro Tuggle, 6'3", 190-pound senior wide receiver who is committed to play at the University of Georgia. He has 17 catches for 240 yards and 4 touchdowns on the year. And the guy that gets him the football is Owen Rader, 5'11", 170, and a senior. Rader, 75% completion rate. Has thrown already for 1,020 yards, 12 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He is second in the state in passing. Keys to win for Nate Andrews and the Panthers.
The keys to win tonight for the Panthers, they need to play mentally tough. That's all aspects of the game. Offense, defense, special teams, success on first downs. They feel it's really important to pick up big yardage on those first down plays and win the kicking game. They believe field position could play a crucial part in this game, and they must win that kicking game.
The series history does not belie the recent years, because for about the first 30 years of this series, it was like the rivalry between a hammer and a nail. Northwood leads at 45-8. The first meeting back in 1979 when Northridge joined the Northern Lakes Conference. Northridge won the last meeting last year, 34-17. That was on November 2nd, 2022. I know the graphic says Northwood, but it was Northridge. The weather tonight, Bo said to me a moment ago, this is football weather. 64 degrees at game time. The gentle zephyr just moving that wheel across the way at 7 miles an hour out of the north. And even though it's overcast, we're not getting any more rain tonight. There was quite a bit of rain in this part of Michiana earlier today.
Yeah, we had quite a bit of rain this week, a lot more than we've had in recent weeks, but I think the ground could absorb it. The field is in great condition out there. It's not torn up at all. Had a little flag football game going on earlier with the youngsters out there, but they didn't weigh enough to really tear up the field out there. But looking forward to a great game tonight here at Andrews Field. A lot of memories on this field for myself, and couldn't be happier than calling with the Hall of Famer yourself, Chuck.
Thank you very much. One of the few great natural grass fields that we still have in the area. Northwood and Concord, pretty much the holdouts in the Northern Lakes Conference. Northridge will kick off as Northwood won the toss and elected to receive. You look at Owen Rader warming up on the Panthers sideline, and we'll get into his story as the season and as the game goes along. But it'll be Dylan Ritchie putting it on the tee for the Northridge Raiders. Ritchie, a senior who gets touchbacks about a third of the time. If you're going to get one, tonight's the night, because you look back there and ready to return the kick for Northwood. You've got Trey Woods and you've got Nitro Tuggle.
A little bit of speed on that return team for Northwood.
The referee helping pull down the jersey for Tuggle to make sure it meets the standards. Dylan Ritchie has the ball on the tee, and we are ready to rock from Napanee. An end-over-end kick. Trey Woods will take back at his 7. Woods, the transfer from Mishawaka, coming up the middle of the field, tried to cut outside and ran into his own man and fell down at the 25-yard line. So that's where Northwood will take it over. 1st and 10 with Owen Rader at quarterback. Rader 63 of 84 throwing the football this year. He is second in the state in passing yards. He is 4th in the nation in quarterback rating. That's how good he's been this year. And our first quarter tonight being sponsored by our friends at Southwind Flooring. And our weather report tonight was sponsored by our friends at Ivy Tech Community College. Panthers in black will put twins to each side. Keegan Stats starts as the running back tonight, and he is slotted just to the right of Owen Rader. And it's Stats in motion. Northridge showing blitz. Rader off a low snap finds Nitro Tuggle, and Tuggle is greeted by 4 white jerseys at the 29-yard line. A pickup of 4 on the play as we meet the Northwood starting lineup. And as you take a look, Keegan Stats is in there tonight. Is Josiah Edmond will not start, but he will play. Seth Russell, a good tight end. The receiver's explosive. And along the offensive line, they made some changes, but they do have big Grant Clemens coming back. And Bo Patterson not in the starting lineup tonight. Here's Rader again to Tuggle. Has a first down. He'll go out of bounds finally at about the 40-yard line. And the first down for Northwood brought to us by Quality Window and Door. As we meet this Northridge defense, we told you about Brock Thompson on the front. Bo Bojanic is the top linebacker. Connor Roth makes a lot of tackles too. It is a young secondary, and clearly it's going to get tested tonight. So 2 completions, 15 yards to Tuggle, and it's 1st and 10, and the official blows the whistle from the far side.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. You talked about the offensive starting lineup for Northwood. Made some switches up front. New center up there, and their 3rd snap in a row on the ground. Raiders had to come away with it. Hits Tuggle again for the 3rd pass in a row as well.
And Tuggle picks up 9 on this one, so 3 catches, 24 yards so far for Nitro Tuggle. As we mentioned, committed to the University of Georgia. They love his speed. They love his height at 6'3". And he is number 2 on the all-time Northwood receiving list. We'll get into that as the game goes on. Second, they'll call it 2 from the 48. Rader again in the gun. It's a quarterback draw here, and Owen Rader is going to be close to the first down. Boy, Brock Thompson tried to push him back, but he made the sticks for a first down, sponsored by Quality Window and Door.
Big shout out to Cook's Pizza. When Panther fans are hungry, they go to Cook's Pizza. Whether you're hungry for pizza, chicken strips, breadsticks, breaded mushrooms, or ice cream, Cook's Pizza can feed your family or your whole team. You can also find that same great food at Jimtown Pizza in Jimtown. Big thank you to Cook's Pizza for feeding our production crew prior to the game.
Another bouncing snap, and then Tuggle slips on the wet grass after a pickup of 4. I was on the field before the game, Bo. I didn't think it was that slippery, but if it's going to be slippery, it's on the sidelines because there's a big crown on this field at Andrews Field.
Northwood does have a big crown right in the middle to make sure it does drain properly away from that center so it's not a big dirt pile right in the middle of the field. But the snaps, that's something that's going to have to change here for Northwood. There's a good snap.
2nd and 6 off the hands of Tuggle and incomplete. So Tuggle couldn't hang on to it that time with the pink gloves, and Northwood looking at a 3rd and 6. They have been very quick in getting their offense set on the field. They really try to wear teams down and use the short passing game as something of their running game.
But big thing with that short passing game is next thing you know, you're going to go deep on a pass once they bite on it.
And Rader to Tuggle picks up 10 yards on the first down, sponsored by Quality Window and Door. It's just pitch and catch for Rader and Tuggle tonight.
Yeah, here you can see the replay sponsored by Springer Dental Care. Great job of getting the ball up. Great job by Tuggle going up after the ball, catching it at the high point. Just having a fantastic night already here in the first quarter between Rader and Tuggle.
5 completions, 38 yards. They've all gone to Nitro Tuggle. Booney Booker changing the play over on the sideline. From the 36, Rader quarterback sprint. Hesitates a little bit, and Northridge will catch up as Bo Bojanic comes in and makes the tackle from behind after a pickup of 5 for Owen Rader.
Nice first down success play that they talked about right there. Rader picking up 5.5, almost 6 yards on the play. Exactly what they want to do on first downs. Pick up big chunks of yards, getting manageable 2nd and 3rd down so they have an ability to possibly bust one deep here.
Rader averaging about 5 carries a night, but he's already had 2 tonight. So perhaps it's something in that Northridge defense that is taking away the rest of the running game. Now Rader on a screen pass finds his man. And that's Landon Perry, and Perry takes it for a first down, sponsored by Quality Window and Door. He needed 5, he got 6.
Don't let a clog ruin your pipes. Call Moore Custom Drain Cleaning. It only takes one clog to cause disaster. If you need a drain cleaning service, turn to the experts at Moore Custom Drain Cleaning. They offer professional drain cleaning services throughout Elkhart County, and go Panthers.
Very methodical drive so far for the Panthers. Keegan Stats back in the running back next to Rader. Has not had a carry yet tonight. Won't change here. Rader, pump fake. He wanted to go to Tuggle, and Tuggle gets tackled on his way to the end zone.
He knew he was beat, the defender, and just went ahead and grabbed him and said, you know what? I'm going to just give the penalty. I'm not giving you the touchdown.
There is holding, and then there is, would you like to go to the prom with me? And that's what we had right here down at the bottom of your screen. But as Bo points out, he didn't give up 6 points. He just gives up 12.5 yards. And it'll be a first down sponsored by Quality Window and Door, the 5th one of this drive.
Ritchie Auto Sales, located on Main Street in Middlebury, proudly supports Northwood Athletics and would like to give a special shout out to number 40, Dylan Ritchie. Have a great season. Find your next car at Ritchie Auto Sales. Ritchie Auto Sales are punts and kick sponsors for Northridge. Go Raiders.
Raider with a power sweep picks up 4 on the play, and then he's brought down by Brock Thompson. Thompson, a junior all-state defensive end a year ago, 3-sport athlete at Northridge. Really done a great job in the weight room, bulked himself up to 220 pounds. Raider looking at a 2nd down and 5. Stats in motion, Raider the other way, off the hands of Tuggle and incomplete. Threw it behind him. But so far, Owen Raider 6 out of 8 throwing the football, right on his 75% completion rate for the season.
Yeah, and you're going to see that. It's not going to be just here in the first quarter. They're going to throw the ball throughout the game. They are a throwing team. They're going to spread you out and try to get space and try to use the speed.
3rd and 5, big defensive play here for Northridge. They've got 8 defensive backs in the game. Raider will throw anyway. Tuggle makes the catch, but there's a flag on the play. Hold everything. Flag was thrown back at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if somebody moved. And it is
sideline warning.
A sideline warning against Northwood. That's not a problem. Touchdown, Panthers. And they are on the board. The touchdown sponsored by Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates. And you'll get another look at Owen Rader's 5th touchdown pass of the year to Nitro Tuggle in his 13th overall. Dominic DeFreitas on to try the extra point. He's 11 of 12 on these this year. The kick is up, and it is good. It is 7:28 remaining in the first quarter, and Owen Raider and Nitro Tuggle hooked up 6 times in that drive, and the last one was for 6 points. Panthers lead at 7-0 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by TireRack.com. It's the way tire buying should be. There you see Dominic DeFreitas, the fine kicker on this Northwood team. 12 of 13 now on PATs. Gives the Panthers a 7-0 lead. That was a very impressive 12-play, 75-yard drive. It chewed 4:32 off the clock. The only running plays were the ones where the quarterback held on to the football.
Yeah, very efficient on that series for Northwood. I thought they showed poise out there. They were hitting the underneath routes. They weren't trying to force the ball downfield. They were taking what Northridge was giving them. Looks like Northridge is trying to play just over the top, give them that underneath routes, and they're taking advantage of it.
Freitas, who's pretty good at putting the ball in the end zone, will kick it deep. Tucker Baber, one of the deep men back there. And he will take this one in the end zone for the touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Northridge Raiders, who have Braden Clark, a transfer from Fairfield, as their quarterback. Didn't want to be part of a triple option attack with the Falcons. He came to more of a pro-style setup with Northridge, and he has flourished this year in his first year as the starter, taking over for Cade Carrington. 45 of 73. 621 yards, 5 touchdowns. He has thrown 4 interceptions.
Yeah,
Northridge is really offensively wise. They're going to try to spread it a little bit evenly between the run and the pass. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Miller out of the lineup.
Instead, Derek Sherwood gets the start. We saw him in the playoffs last year, and he was just fine, thank you. He had a couple of 100-yard games against Riley and Logansport in the tournament last year. And it's Sherwood on the carry off the left-hand side, and he's got a first down and more all the way out to the 35-yard line. And it's sponsored by State and Maine Tap and Table. As you meet this Northridge offense, and there you see Sherwood filling in. Good receiver by the name of Chase Clark on the outside, no relation to Braden. Judah Hostetler, another good receiver. Returning starters, Wyatt Bowles going to Illinois State, along with Joe Carr and Cohen Lance. And unlike Northwood, who got to the line of scrimmage in a foot race, Northridge will take its time. Clark in motion, Sherwood on the handoff, nowhere to run. Good pursuit by the middle of that Northwood defense as Caleb Chupp came in and made the hit. And we meet this Northwood defense. Brady King having an excellent year on the defensive line, as is Landon Zimmerman. Some changes in the linebacking core tonight as Austin King gets the start, the sophomore. And in the secondary, Jaden Rhodes gets the start in place of Josiah Edmond as the Michigan commit is put on the bench for the start of the game for team discipline. 2nd and 12. Clark from the gun, looks to throw, surveys and threw it just a little bit too far for his intended receiver, Ainsley Ritchie.
Nice little pass up this seam by Clark there. Receiver just wasn't quite ready for the ball to get there. Got to get your hands up, ready to go. And as you said, Northridge would like nothing better than to just kind of sustain a long drive here and actually take this drive into the second quarter if they could. Big, crucial third down play here for Northridge.
Well, here's where you get into a little bit of trouble, right? Because once Northwood put Northridge behind the chains on the first play of this particular set of downs, now Northridge has to rely on the passing game a little bit. Not that they can't throw it, but here comes a blitz, picked up well by the Raiders. Clark with a great sidearm throw finds Ainsley Ritchie at the 48-yard line. That's good for a first down. Boy, look at the arm angle, shades of Pat Mahomes last night.
Yeah, that was a great job of reading it, letting the play develop. Here you can see on the Springer Dental Care replay. Great job, good hands, way to pick up the State and Maine Tap and Table first down.
So Northridge gets it up to the 48-yard line and most importantly, keeps the drive alive. Midway through the first quarter already. Single receivers to each side. Double wings and Sherwood going right up the middle. Bounces off the tacklers, keeps the legs going. And look at Derek Sherwood just move the pile out to the 46-yard line. That young man's got some strong legs, Bo Hunt.
Yeah, he does, and that's what you talk about wrapping up when you come up the middle. Great pressure by Northwood, getting the penetration, but they were just throwing their bodies at him. They weren't wrapping up, and Sherwood said, hey, man, my feet are still going. I'm still driving. I'm going to pick up as many yards as I can, and picked up 6.
5'10", 190 pounds, and a junior. As we mentioned off the top, McLean Miller out with a hamstring injury. He's hoping he can be back next week. We'll see. 2nd and 4. Braden Clark fires and has his man. That's Chase Clark running over people in the Northwood secondary all the way to the 17. A State and Maine Tap and Table first down after a pickup of 29.
What a great job finding the seam up the middle. The middle's open a lot in high school football. Here you can see in the Springer Dental Care replay, driving the legs, the passion that Northridge has in this game. A lot of people said, you know, Northwood, they're the clear-cut favorite in this game. Northridge is like, oh, wait a second. We have a very good team as well.
Oh, you don't think Northridge loves wearing the chip on its shoulder this week?
I'm sure
the fact
they
that,
do.
Hey, we came over and beat you at your place in the tournament 2 years in a row, and you still don't think we're good enough?
Yep.
1st and 10. It's Clark on the keeper himself. Big quarterback rumbles on down to the 12-yard line. Pick up a 5 for Braden Clark.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies in South Bend is globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working toward a great finish. Thank you, Imagineering, for your continued support of high school sports on TV 46.
By the way, Nitro Tuckle playing a little bit on both sides of the ball tonight. He just came out of the game at safety, and Jaden Rhodes goes back in. 2nd and 5. Sherwood still the lone back behind Braden Clark. It's Chase Clark in motion. And Braden looking for Chase, got him on the out route, and oh, did he pay the price. Good night, nurse, did Keith Miller come over and make a hit.
He might have to go to Springville Dental Care after that hit here in the replay. Nice job. Oh, that you talk about a form tacker. Lowering your shoulder properly, driving your legs through the target. That's just picture perfect right there.
Just a couple of weeks ago, Keith Miller was certified as an emergency telecommunicator, and he may have had to call 911 right there if he hits him any harder. 3rd and 3. It's Braden Clark on the quarterback draw. He's got the first down and more. Spun down inside the 5 all the way down to the 3-yard line. Pickup of 7 for Clark on his 21st carry of the season, and you get another look from Springer Dental Care.
Yeah, just a great job of following his lead box, understanding where the hole is, and I love how Northridge drives their legs and finish the play.
I'm going to read some numbers to you, and these are the weights of the Northwood defensive line that started tonight. 199, 171, 189. That's not very big in high school football, and Northridge is taking it to them early on. Jumbo formation in the backfield. Give it to the big fella. One of the offensive tackles put in the game to carry the football. And I believe that's Wyatt Bowles. And Bowles, the young man who's committed to play at Illinois State, only picks up 1 on the play. Took a little page out of the New Prairie playbook right there. Cougars like to do that. They'll give it to Bowles again, and he gets stymied at the line of scrimmage. Did he get in? Side judge says no. He's down at the 1. Austin King getting in and making the stop, and it's 3rd and goal from inside the 1 for Northridge.
Looks like it's about the 3-inch line for what we're looking. He hit that pile. Yeah.
That's how close they are. You think Clark on a QB sneak here? Yep. Touchdown, Northridge. Braden Clark finds Hallelujah Land for the first time this season. The touchdown sponsored by KZRV, and Northridge an extra point away from tying this one up.
Just a great job of just following your lead block on that. Your lineman getting off the line, and love how Bowles comes in at the end and kind of gives him a little shove from behind. The old Bush push.
So now Dylan Ritchie on to try the extra point. 7 of 8 on these this season, out of the hold of Connor Roth.
This kick sponsored by Ritchie Auto Sales.
And the kick is up, and it is good. So after a impressive drive by Northwood, 75 yards and 12 plays to open the game, well, Northridge responds with a nice drive of their own. They also go 12 plays, 80 yards, 5 minutes, 17 seconds. We're all knotted up at 7. Seems like a good time to go down to Angelo DiCarlo for a Bills Heating sideline report. You in charge of the defenses tonight, Ange?
Say that again, Chuck?
Ange, are you in charge of the defenses tonight?
Yeah. That would look that way. They'll just put me out there, and they'll just continue to score all over me. I think that was a big answer, right, for Northridge. We talk about Northridge coming back, ending Northwood's season each of the last 2 years, but a reminder, Northwood blew out Northridge in the regular season each of the last 2 years. So the fact that Northridge able to respond against the favored team right away and get an answer, that's big for their psyche after having that loss last week, a week ago. So that's a big drive for Northridge.
Absolutely, and now Nate Andrews trying to get his special teams ready. He'd love to see a big play from them tonight, and they've got the personnel to do that. And now we see Josiah Edmond go into the game for the first time tonight as one of the kick returners. He will be the up man with Trey Woods and Nitro Tuggle, the deep men.
What really impressed me the most about that last drive with Northridge was that 3rd and 12 play that they had. That was a big pickup, and Clark looked poised back there under center in that huge situation early in the game.
Ritchie Auto Sales sponsors the Dylan Ritchie kickoff. It is a line drive, and Edmond will take it at his 10. Josiah Edmond, the Michigan commit, hesitates. No, I'm sorry, that's Trey Woods at the 20. Taken down at the 20-yard line. 7, not 8. So Woods is taken down at the 20-yard line, and Owen Rader's got to figure out a way to march his team 80 yards. We've had 2 possessions and 2 touchdowns in this football game.
Great first quarter so far for both these two teams. Reminder, Southwind Flooring's our first quarter sponsor. KZ Recreational Vehicles is proud to support athletics in Northern Indiana. KZ, a top RV manufacturer, is built on the foundation of integrity and family culture. Work for KZ and drive home with a sense of belonging, pride, and a great career. Go Raiders!
Owen Rader is 6 of 8 throwing the ball tonight for 51 yards. He'll pitch it out to Josiah Edmond, and Edmond tries to get around the outside and does. Finally steps out of bounds. They'll spot him out at the 27. That's going to be a pickup of 7 on the play. We'll have to take a close look here to see if this is actually a run or a pass from Rader. It was a run. But Edmond showing some of that burst that caused Jim Harbaugh to come after.
Definitely able to get to the outside, and once he goes north and south, he's got some speed.
2nd and 3. Rader turns, throws out in the flat, and has his man, and that is Trey Woods. And Trey Woods takes it all the way up to the 40-yard line. Pick up 13 and a first down sponsored by Quality Window and Door. You get another look from Springer Dental Care.
Good job of getting the quick release. We talked about them wanting to do the short passing games, and Northridge is going to give them those. But once in a while, I think Northridge needs to maybe bite on one of those with an under guy to maybe undercut that route, and it's a 6-pointer.
Chad Epley couldn't understand this week why Trey Woods isn't getting D1 offers either. He has been lightning quick this year. Here's another pitch out to Edmond. Edmond trying to get around the outside, and that play was defended beautifully by Corbin Collett, who did a great job fighting off the block, then coming inside and filling the hole.
Yeah, he really turned Edmond to the inside, and I think that was the biggest thing. He held containment, and then once Edmond made that cut, he was able to come up and make the tackle.
2nd and 8 from the 42-yard line. Here's Rader looking to throw, and it's intercepted. What a beautiful diving grab by Connor Roth, and Owen Rader is picked off for the first time this season. The Northridge defense creates the turnover.
Well, just what I just said. I'm wondering whether they're going to undercut a route with somebody that's not on Tuggle, and they just did it on that play, undercut the route, got in the passing lane. That's exactly what Northridge wanted to do in that situation.
The senior linebacker with his first interception of the season, and it sets up Northridge in plus territory at the Northwood 48 with 1:03 to go here in the first quarter.
Hey, you need a crowd pleaser just like tonight's game? Raising Cane's have you covered this school year with a hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, buttery Texas toast, and their craveable cane sauce. Order online at raisingcanes.com or through their mobile app, One Love.
From the 48-yard line, it's Sherwood, and he's got nowhere to go. Managed to battle his way back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. Terrific pursuit that time by the Northwood defense as Brady King, the junior defensive end, who's having a monster year. He's a returning starter on this defense, but a defensive end that has 16 tackles already after a third of the season.
Yeah, you know he gets up there and gets in the backfield and makes a lot of tackles right there at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10. Chase Clark in motion. Brady Clark wants his man out there, and Chase Clark makes the catch and gets spun down. Great tackle by Kanye Tucker, the linebacker, who has 20 stops on the year, and this one will be right at the loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Yeah, it looks like he was looking to the left and back to the right, trying to throw the linebackers off, and actually the left was actually open.
And 1 quarter is in the books here at Jim Andrews Field in Napanee. Plenty of offensive fireworks early on. Nitro Tuggle with a touchdown catch, but Braden Clark stuffed it in the end zone for the Raiders. And then Connor Roth with a big interception. We're tied at 7 after 1 on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by Raising Cane's Craveable Chicken Finger Meals. One love, one guy does sideline reports this year for us. Bill's Heating sideline report. Angelo DiCarlo, what's the atmosphere like at Andrews Field down on the sidelines tonight?
I think there's a lot of excitement certainly in the stands, but then suddenly you start feeling that angst a little bit, right? After that touchdown and then the interception here on the Northwood sidelines, you can start to feel maybe some people going, ooh, here we go, right? And Northwood hasn't faced too much adversity so far this year. They've really done really well in their first 3 games, so this is a good test for them early on. How do they respond now facing some adversity?
Well, they were looking at trying to hold Northridge here. Raiders looking at a 3rd, and we'll call it 11 on the Northwood 49-yard line. They converted a 3rd and 12 on their first possession, which was a scoring drive. Braden Clark rolls out. He's got room and throws a little lob and hits his receiver, who steps out of bounds as Hostetler makes the catch. That's Judah Hostetler. And he manages to get the first down up to the 37-yard line. They needed 11, and he got 12.
Great job of rolling out. Here you can see in the Springer Dental Care replay, finding the receiver, getting upfield, picking up another huge 3rd down to pick up the first down, sponsored by State and Maine Tap-In Table. And a reminder, our second quarter sponsor is by Wellfield Community. Start your journey at wellfieldcommunity.com.
1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Jumping along the line of scrimmage, and I think Northwood just gave him 5. As we get a first chance to meet our officials for tonight's game, Mike Castell is our referee in the white hat. He's working with Jeff Coggins, Kyle Keith, Trevor Medved, and Dino Spiritus. And we thank them for their work and encourage people to join the IHSA as officials as you take a look at Nate Andrews. 10 years on the sidelines now here at Northwood. He's 76 and 29, 17 years as a head coach overall. Derek Sherwood on the carry takes it up to the 30. He'll pick up 2 and set him up with a 2nd and 3.
Looking for your dream home? Embrace the pace in Napanee's newest neighborhood development, Wellfield Community. The multi-generation development by R. Yoder Construction offers villa options along with single-family and estate home properties, all designed to suit your unique taste and lifestyle. Start your journey at wellfieldcommunity.com.
2nd and 3. Braden Clark gives it off to Derek Sherwood, and Sherwood turns the corner and gets the first down. It's sponsored by State and Maine Tap-In Table. Derek Sherwood, nothing flashy, 6 carries, 24 yards, but doing a solid job filling in for McLean Miller tonight.
I think the biggest thing this Northridge offense has been able to do is keep the Northwood offense off the field with the second drive that they have here. The big interception was really key, and sustaining this drive is even more important to keep that offense off there.
Play with a clean sheet and then try to cash it in as many times as you can, but limit the possessions like they belong to a Catholic priest. Here's Derek Sherwood picking up 3 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 7.
Talked about the D-line for Northwood being a little small. Looked like they changed it up a little bit, bringing in some size from the offensive line.
Well, they brought in Max Parsiak, the 6'3", 299 junior. We talked about the reversals of fortune in this game. Look at the difference between the regular season games and the playoff games in this series. 2nd and 7. Clark threw it behind one receiver, and then it hit off the hands of Hostetler, but he couldn't hang on. A little too much traffic, perhaps, in the area.
A little too much traffic, and he put a little zip on that ball as well. It was coming in there hot and heavy. We saw, if you even watched the game last night, lucky that didn't get picked off on the little tip-off. Mahomes was a little unfortunate last night on a couple plays.
Well, his receivers did him no favors. One receiver had more drops in one game than Larry Fitzgerald had in his career. 3rd and 8. Clark out on the wing, too far. It'll be 4th down. And decision time for Chad Upley. He's got a kicker in Dylan Ritchie who is capable from 45 yards, and he's going to give him a shot.
Yeah, watching Ritchie before the game, he's definitely got the leg to get it up there. Looks like this one might be from 41 out.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. By the way, the kick sponsored by Ritchie Auto Sales. Dylan Ritchie's long in a game is 43 yards. He's 2 for 2 this year.
Waiting for special teams player to come out. There he comes out. The center. Need him.
Especially as the play clock gets down to 5. Connor Roth is the holder. The snap is good. The kick is on its way and over end, and it is good. Dylan Ritchie nails it from 41 yards away, and Northridge takes the lead. 10 minutes exactly to go in the first half. 40 is good from 41, and the Raiders have the lead in Napanee. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the St. Joseph County Police Department. Join the team and help protect and serve our community. Take a look at Josiah Edmond coming out for the kickoff return, one of 4 D1 players on rosters in this game. Unfortunately, we don't get to see McLean Miller tonight. We know about the guys going to Georgia and Michigan. There's nothing wrong with going to North Dakota State, which has been a 1AA power. And then Wyatt Bowles in Illinois State. I was joking with him because Illinois State opened with a 41-0 win over Dayton last week. Dayton is coached by Trevor Andrews. I said, wouldn't it be something if another Illinois State product at the high school level beat an Andrews at the high school level?
That would be interesting.
And he said, that would be something, Mr. Freeby. And then I said, oh, Mr. Freeby, I'm old. Here's Dylan Ritchie's kickoff, sponsored by Ritchie Auto Sales. It's a sidewinder that Nitro Tuggle will finally pick up at his 3. He can be explosive. He spins, and Northridge has seen that move before, and they'll take him down at the 17-yard line.
Reminder, Northridge scoring is sponsored by KZRV. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been serving Napanee and the surrounding area since 1969. They're committed to what they do and are here to serve you for your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, building lasting solutions.
So how does Owen Rader respond to really the first adversity that he has had in this season? An interception that he throws for the first time this year. Will it rattle his confidence at all? We'll find out as he takes the field. 1st and 10 at his own 17, and Northwood trailing by 3. I think this is the first time they've trailed all season. Rader looks things over, and he'll give it on an end around here. And I believe this is Landon Perry, who caught a screen pass earlier in the game, and he's able to pick up about 4 yards on the play.
Great pursuit by Northridge on that play. Could have turned into something, but they came from the backside linebacker, actually came and made the tackle on that, following the play as it developed.
Perry with just his 7th carry of the season. Now Rader goes empty backfield, looking for some single coverage. He pump fakes, now needs to get rid of it, and there's Josiah Edmond making a beautiful catch at midfield. 29 yards and a first down, sponsored by Quality Window and Door.
Well, I think Rader could have thrown it to about 3 guys on that play. He had definitely had some players open downfield. Here you can see on the Springer Dental Care replay, Edmonds with a great job going up for the ball and bringing it down for the first down, sponsored by Quality Window and Door.
Now a throw to the outside as a flag comes in. It's Trey Woods with the catch, but let's see what the flag is all about.
Looked like the flag came in right before the play was snapped, so it might have had some illegal motion or somebody lined up off sides, one of the two. Illegal shift.
You got the illegal shift that goes against Northwood. Just the second penalty against the Panthers tonight for 10 yards.
Topping Dental Group proudly supports high school athletics with offices in Napanee, Elkhart, and Middlebury. Topping Dental Group, making smiles that last a lifetime.
Rader tonight has completed 9 of 12 for 93 yards, but the 1 interception led to the 3 points that are the difference in the game right now. Long count, play action fake. Rader took his time and tried to lead Seth Russell, but led him too far. Russell, the senior tight end. And Russell has been a busy man already tonight. Not only is he playing tight end and defensive line, but he helped sing with the choir that sang our national anthem tonight. Dawning Generation. And there he was, singing the anthem tonight, so he's done a little bit of everything.
Love to see kids involved in multiple things at their high school.
2nd and 15. Raider under pressure throws, and it's incomplete, and there's a late hit, and that'll be 15 yards and an automatic first down, sponsored by Quality Window and Door. Just not a heads-up play at all by Tucker Baber, sophomore.
Yeah, I think it was just a slow reaction to the play developing, and then ball goes by. He was drilled in, set up on him, just followed through the play. To him, as in a football mind, he thinks that play's a lot closer than it was, and that ball just went through his hands right when he hit that player.
In his mind, yes. I see what you're saying, and he's only a sophomore. He's got a little less experience than some of the guys that are out there.
I know some younger times when I was playing and watching replay, I thought some things were a lot closer than what they were, and then when you watch it on film, you realize, man, that wasn't even close in that situation.
And also, you get the feeling that he's not even looking at the ball. He's just looking at the man, and that's what got him into trouble there. He'll learn 1st and 10 from the 40, but a costly penalty for the Raiders. Josiah Edmond trying to turn the corner on the sweep, spins away from a tackler, but falls down back to the 45, and that's a loss of 5, and a great job by the Raider defense.
Calling all foodies, State and Main Tap and Table is Middlebury's newest family-friendly sports bar. So come take in a little bit of local history while enjoying their take on some culinary classics. From appetizers to burgers to plates and desserts, State and Main Tap and Table has something for everyone in the family.
2nd and 16 from the Northridge 46. Northwood has had no running game tonight, just 19 yards running the football. They have had to rely on the right arm of Owen Rader. 93 yards throwing, looking to throw again. Airs it out, Nitro Tuggle wide open, and it goes through his hands.
Wow, what a move by Tuggle to get open, just a little stutter step, and wide open down the field. Ball was putting right there in the.
It's over the outside shoulder. You'd prefer it over the inside shoulder, but
when there's not a defender, correct, yes.
It's honestly a catchable ball.
Yep.
So 3rd and 16. Do they come right back to that play? We'll see. Raider looking the other way, under pressure, and down he goes. Northridge's defense gets in there and makes the hit. It was Brody Streeter with his 3rd sack of the season that gets the best of Raider right there.
Just the pressure from the D line and the defensive end getting in there, making Raider step up in the pocket and put the pressure on him.
So Josiah Edmond lines up in punt formation. There is nobody back deep for Northridge. They just want to make sure it wasn't a fake. Edmond hits this one. It wobbles a little bit and finally kicks out of bounds at the 13-yard line. A 34-yard kick with no return, and Northridge will have it with the lead.
Martin Supermarket's groceries to go annual subscriptions are now available. They're just $29.99 for the year. Get ad pricing, digital coupons, recipes directly from your account. Learn more at martinsgroceriestogo.com.
Saturdays on Pulse FM mean college football, and tomorrow the Purdue Boilermakers have to go into Blacksburg, Virginia. I can almost hear Enter Sandman echoing through the hills all the way to Napanee, as it's the Boilermakers and the Hokies of Virginia Tech. Saturday at noon on your home for the Boilermakers on the radio Pulse FM.
What a tradition Tech has. Enter Sandman, the students going crazy, just the excitement, the energy that you feel in a stadium like that as a player, let alone just a fan, but as a player is just amazing.
1st and 10 from the 15 for Braden Clark and Northridge. Raiders get the ball to Derek Sherwood, and Josiah Edmond was coming on a blitz and sniffed him out. on a 1-yard pickup.
Big series here for Northridge offensively. If they can sustain a drive all the way down and not give Northwood the ball back and put up points, they get the ball to start the second half.
2nd and 9 from the 16-yard line. Clark and the Raiders with their worst field position of the night. But Clark will throw anyway, and the catch is made by Ainsley Ritchie, and he is thrown down in a hurry. Northwood was not fooled at all that time as Trevor Barrett comes up and makes the hit.
This game's health tip is brought to you by HealthLink. Quality health insurance is linked to a healthier life. If you or someone you know needs help navigating the world of health insurance, HealthLink can help. Navigators can assist with enrolling in Marketplace Medicare, Medicaid health coverage at no cost to you. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more.
Northwood fans trying to make some noise to encourage their defense here on 3rd and long. Braden Clark rolls out. Oh, he's got Chase Clark open, and he overthrew him. He waited just a little too long to get him the ball.
Yeah, I think he had a few options there to choose from, and I think the biggest thing was he was on the run, and the way he was flowing to the ball and rolling out, that was about his only option he had because he didn't want to stop and set up.
But that's also why the ball, I think, sailed on him a little bit.
Yep.
So it'll be 4th down, and my goodness, look at Chad Epley lining his team up as though they're going to throw it. Now let's see if Clark, yeah, he's going to drop back and punt. The punt sponsored by Ritchie Auto Sales, but it's not a good punt. Flag comes out on the play, but that punt didn't even make it to the 1st down marker. Northwood's going to get it at the 24 unless they did something wrong on the penalty.
Yeah, there's something on a penalty there. Not sure if they had some guys downfield or if there was too many people on the field for Northwood.
They had a sideline warning earlier. Now if they get a sideline warning here, they might be bailing Northridge out. It's a repeat 4th down. I think it was too many men on the field for Northwood. Officiating crew is talking about it. And they're moving the ball. Well, okay, apparently it's too many men on the field as the play was going on. So the kick occurred, and then people started coming out on the field. That's the sideline warning.
Okay.
That's why there were too many men on the field. So it's a 5-yard penalty after the kick,
play.
And it's 1st and 10 from there. So terrific field position for Owen Rader and the Panthers from the 28-yard line of Northridge. And a stack formation over here with 2 D1 players, Edmond in front of Tuggle. And Rader looks the other way to Trey Woods because everybody else's eyes are over here. It's not a bad call at all. He picks up about 6 on the play.
No, as Coach Epley would talk about too, Woods is one heck of a player. Not surprised that he isn't getting any offers as well.
Looking at a 2nd and 4 from the 22. 5:39 left to go before halftime. I know that clock's a little tough to read tonight on the Tire Rack scoreboard. That's the way it looks to us here at Northwood. Rader picks up another ground ball. Snap, finds room to run, and Rader is corralled from behind. Has the 1st down sponsored by Quality Window and Door after he picks up 12 on the play.
Yeah, here you can see on the Springer Dental Care replay, looked like his shoulder. Yeah, they just grabbed his jersey. It looked like it was almost a horse collar or a face mask, but they just grabbed his jersey and slung him down from the side.
He is not the biggest kid, 170 pounds, and so one of those beefy paws for Northridge got a hold of him. Now looking at a 1st and goal from the 10. And a bad snap that rolls past Rader. He's just got to find a way to get rid of it, and he didn't, and he takes the punishment. Northridge with the big sack as Travis Henke comes in and buries Rader for a loss of 15 on the play.
We talked about that at the start of the game. 3 of the first 4 snaps were on the ground, bad snaps, and there almost cost him big time here in the red zone.
Henke now with 3.5 sacks on the season. It's 2nd and goal from the 25. Rader drops back, looking left. Again, it's Trey Woods, and he is buried out of bounds. Connor Roth coming out and shoving Woods after a pickup of 6 on the play, make it 5.
You can improve your future at Ivy Tech. The goal isn't graduation day, it's a better every day after. Ivy Tech degrees transfer to more than 100 colleges and universities, plus alumni earn on average $10,000 more within a 2-year degree. Enrollment is open for an October 23rd start. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
3rd and goal from the 20. Northwood has a very good kicker in Dominic DeFreitas, and Northwood is going to take a timeout here. With 4:49 to go in the first half, we will as well. Northridge clinging to a 10-7 lead, but the Panthers threatening on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by API St. Andrews, 31 years of success. Owen Rader gets talking to on the sidelines. We remind you Monday night at 7 on Pulse FM. Angelo DiCarlo and I will break down Saturday's Notre Dame game down at North Carolina State. Get you ready for Central Michigan. And Anj has a very special guest for Focus on Faith. I don't want to say that he's really accomplished, but I'd say he is.
Yeah, I'd say
I'm just going to say Tim Brown is really accomplished. Oh, I guess I gave it away. That's Monday night at 7 on Pulse. 3rd and goal from the 20 for Owen Rader. Steps in the pocket, throws, and it's complete up to the 5. As Josiah Edmond with about a 15-yard gain here. And decision time for Nate Anders, and they're going to go for it on 4th and goal from just inside the 5.
I think with the talent, the receivers they have over here, if Rader can get it anywhere near the top of the jump zone, especially for Tuggle, I think that's the key. Get it up to him.
And also you got Edmond who can wheel right out of the backfield, but it's Tuggle in the end zone. Touchdown, Nitro is second to right.
Threw it right at the top of the jump zone. Tuggle jumped at the top of the zone, called it the highest point. Nobody's going to take that away. The only way that's going to be incomplete is if you throw it too high, throw it too short, too left, too right. Just throw it, put it up, let him go up and get it.
Touchdown sponsored by Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates. For Nitro Tuggle, his 6th touchdown catch of the year, and for Owen Rader, his 14th TD pass. Dominic DeFreitas on to try the extra point. Out of the hold of Rader, the kick is up, and it is good, and the Panthers are back in front at 14-10. So you get another look at the call that Coach Hunt made so beautifully on 4th and goal. And yeah, when you got an athlete like this, pretty easy to make these kind of calls.
Yeah, just throw it up, jump up and get it. I mean, that's just a perfect situation right there. I mean, you've seen a few schools do. You saw Bremen do it back in the day with Topper when, you know, 6'5", could jump out of the gym as well. Played basketball and baseball for me down there, but a lot of times that's the play that you got to run, and there's almost no way to defend that. You can't undercut that because the ball's too high.
He's 6'3", nearest defender 6 foot. Money in the bank as it's country night here. And Nitro Tuggle moving on up on the list of all-time Northwood receivers. He doesn't have a ton of receiving yards tonight. He's got 50, which puts him over 1,700. He will catch Bronson Yoder, barring injury, before the year is out. And you look at some of the other names on this list, a lot of basketball players. Braxton Linville in there. DeAndre Smart was a really good receiver, but Bronson Yoder, folks, he's having a really nice career at William & Mary.
He sure is, and he had a nice career here at Northwood. Had a chance to cover him throughout the 4 years he was here, and really having a great career up there at William & Mary.
But Nitro Tuggle will be number 1 before he leaves here in Napanee, and he made that one look like a very easy pitch and catch. Dominic DeFreitas on to kick it off for the Panthers, who are back on top by 4. And Baber takes this one from the 1. The sophomore coming up the middle of the field, got all the way up to the 23-yard line. And that's where Northridge will take it over 1st and 10, but now playing from behind for the 2nd time tonight.
Stutzman Power Equipment, where you can get the tools and equipment for all your outdoor needs, specializing in Kubota, Steel, Toro, Simplicity, and Skag. Check them out online at stutzmanpower.com. Stutzman Power Equipment, where service is their #1 product, proud to support high school athletics.
Braden Clark, capable of putting on his own aerial show. He threw for 314 yards and 3 touchdowns in their win over Elkhart in week 2. As you take a look at the Northwood offense, studying the film, this is amazing to me that a high school has the ability to do this now. And it's not just Northwood, all the high schools do it. Here's the handoff to Sherwood, and there's nothing doing there for Derek as the Northwood defense starting to put the clamps down on the rushing game.
Yeah, you see the video down there. Now, is that VHS video that they're...
No, those are the games you played in.
Oh, yeah. The rewind button on the coach's remote was always broken.
2nd and 10. I guess they're going to call it 2nd and 9 here, give them credit for yard on that one. But since the first carry of the game, when Sherwood had 15 yards on that first burst up the middle, he's got 14 yards on his last 8 carries. Northwood's done a beautiful job defending the run. They're going to get another opportunity to do it here, and they do it well as Sherwood only gets up to the 30-yard line. Another pickup of 1 on the play.
Defense for Northwood is really stepping up and really shutting down this running game.
Well, take a look here on the replay and see if when Sherwood made the cut, is he down? It looked like he probably was, but the officials don't have the benefit of instant replay like we do.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. He's trying to make the cut. He's being low to the ground, and he continues on like nothing happened, so that's hard to see in that situation.
Braden Clark looking right, now throws and has Chase Clark for a first down up to the 35-yard line. It's sponsored by State and Maine Tap and Table. And the favorite receiver of Braden Clark for the season makes his 4th catch of the night. This one good for 10 yards and a first down.
Good job of giving him time in the pocket, the offensive line, letting him sit back in there, read the defense, finding the receiver down the field for the first down.
And again, Northridge able to work some clock. 2:32 and counting left in the first half. The handoff to Sherwood, and he gets rocked from behind by Kanye Tucker, the linebacker. 6'2", 189 pounds in anger. It's a pretty good combination for a linebacker. It takes me back to the days when Rich Dodson was coaching Northwood, and I asked Rich one day at a media day, how are your linebackers this year? And he said, slow and friendly. Sherwood now with 11 carries for 31 yards tonight. 2nd and 9. Clark, little out pattern off the hands of Ainsley Ritchie. And that'll stop the clock with 1:50 to go, and this is a critical 3rd and 9 here for Northridge.
They've had some big 3rd downs here in the first half. Were able to capitalize on some early in the game, got them some points. Now the last 2 series, another 3rd down here. Are they able to capitalize to move those chains, sustain this drive, and put some points on the board?
Yeah, you're really only about 2 first downs out of field goal range for Dylan Ritchie. But you got to get them first. It's 3rd and 9. Clark has had time to throw tonight. He'll have to throw an extra 5 yards here as the Raiders jump offside. 3 penalties, 33 yards.
TireRack.com is proud to serve as a scoreboard sponsor for the TV 46 Game of the Week. Since 1979, Tire Rack has been helping people find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. They're also well known for supporting the Michiana community. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Northridge is a team that this year has been throwing it to the tune of 207 yards per game. They only have 67 passing yards here in the first half. Can Clark air it out against this talented Northwood secondary? He wants to. He's going to roll out and run out of time and throw it away. The heat was coming that time from the pass rush. Looked like Caleb Chuck was out there chasing him and had help from Brady King. And it'll be 4th down in a punting situation.
Great job of just getting the pressure out there, coming up quick, making sure he wasn't able to get the ball down the field.
Northridge tried to get cute with the punt last time on 4th down deep in its own territory, and it wound up costing them. They gave Northwood good field position, and Owen Rader punched it in.
Looks like they're doing the same thing, lining up in the same situation.
And now They have Braden Clark back up. This time, a much better line drive kick that angles away from the Northwood returner and rolls to a stop at the 29. But Northwood will have 2 timeouts remaining in 1:35.
Here to protect and serve our community, the St. Joe County Police Department is hiring immediately. Employment opportunities for high school graduates are available, and they offer a host of benefits and a true family environment on their team. Learn more at sjcindiana.com/employment.
Reminder, next week we are on the banks of the St. Joe River over in Mishawaka as the Elkhart Lions and Penn Kingsmen renew their NIC rivalry. We'll have it for you on the live stream Friday night at 7 o'clock and on TV 46 Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Owen Rader back at quarterback for Northwood, and he's looking to throw. Out route, but Nitro Tuggle fell down. But Angelo DiCarlo with the Bills Heating sideline report. What's going on with Owen Rader?
A little equipment issue. He's out there wearing number 18 in terms of a helmet right now. He's number 12, and they were working on it. Wasn't ready in time, so had to grab a teammate's helmet and run out onto the field. He's ready to go.
Well, let's hope Ryder Ransberger doesn't have to play, because that's whose helmet he's got. And we'll see if it brings him any luck. 2nd and 10. Edmond in motion. Rader looking that way. Edmond is leveled. What a hit. Coming up and making the stick is Corbin Collett.
You could see Corbin coming up as that ball is in the air. He's reading that all the way through. You could tell a big hit was coming on that play.
Collision of bodies, and it's 3rd and 11. Northridge has 3 timeouts remaining. If they can get a stop here, maybe they start using it.
Northwood gonna run some time here. They might even run it all the way down.
Rader calmly takes the snap. Looks to throw. Lots of time. Now he decides it's time to scramble. And Owen Rader's got a 1st down up to the 42-yard line. I don't see a flag anywhere.
There's 2 flags on the far side.
In the secondary.
Tuggle was being held the whole way down the field from the start. As soon as the play started, they grabbed a hold of him.
Well, they may take the result of the play, though. That might be better than what they get with the defensive holding.
Correct. Yeah, because that's not a spot foul. It's just a 10-yard defensive holding penalty.
Rader's begging for the play result. He wants those rushing yards.
No, it's not on Northwood. They're pointed to Northwood, but it's not. Yeah. No.
Wow. They called holding against Northwood.
What?
And it has many in Napanee in disbelief.
No, there ain't. It was in the secondary.
And Nate Andrews trying to get an explanation. And Nate's finally going to be able to get a conversation with Mike Estelle here and make sure that everybody's on the same page. Nitro Tuggle trying to say he's the one that got held, and yet we're going the wrong way.
Northwood Panther teams in action tomorrow.
Well, here's another look. Look up at the top of the screen, and I don't see where the holding by Nitro was there. Nate Andrews trying to get a viable explanation on this one. I think this is going to be like me asking Anj to explain the 50-point reversals between the playoffs and the regular season. Angelo, were you anywhere near that discussion?
The best part about it was just now. One of the ball boys yelled "sudden change," and Nate Andrews goes, "That's right, sudden change. Let's go. We got to get ready." I was, and it didn't seem like they had many answers for Nate Andrews. He's asking what the call was, and the refs are like, someone else called it down on the other side of the field. So it didn't seem like he got the explanation he liked.
Well, we had. Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
We'd like to thank Cook Pizza for feeding our crew tonight. They did a great job, as always. Love Cook's Pizza. And you can also get Jimtown Pizza in Jimtown. Love to get over there as well. Big shout out to Cook's Pizza. You can feed your family or your whole team. A big thank you again to Cook's Pizza.
Man, I wish we had a booth camera. I wish we had a booth camera that was pointed at Bo's face as he was trying to understand an explanation that he still doesn't understand.
Reminder, our second quarter is sponsored by Wellfield Community.
All right.
It's almost halftime.
It is. It is. And don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll have our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athletes of the Week, plus halftime highlights and stats on the St. Joe County Police Halftime Report. Northwood is looking at a 3rd and 14. 39 seconds left in the first half. They're back at their own 25-yard line. Owen Rader takes another bad snap. Brock Thompson's coming after him, and he has him, and down he goes at the 21-yard line, a loss of 4 on the play.
Surprised we're not getting a timeout here by Coach Epley.
I am too, but he has not called one yet. And I think he's going to be content to go into the locker room knowing that he gets the ball first to begin the second half. And Northwood at this point, I think, is more than happy to let the clock expire and go to the locker room with the lead at halftime, up 14-10 in this one, as this Elkhart County rivalry has been as advertised here tonight. We've seen haymakers from both sides, but Northwood will go to the locker room with a 4-point lead, and downstairs we go for a Bills Heating sideline report. And Angelo DiCarlo in hot pursuit of Nate Andrews. And let's see if he is able to get him. He does. Go ahead, Angelo.
Nate, your thoughts on the first half? Swing around here.
Northridge, Northwood, it's a crazy game. Right.
What are you going to tell your kids here at halftime to get ready for the second half?
Well, we're starting to defend the ball better, the run game better, so that's nice. That's a good thing. We got to be more calm, more collected. We've got to calm down, and play ball and have fun doing it, not worry about all the distractions.
Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck in the second half.
Thanks. Go Panthers.
All right, Chuck and Bo, back to you.
A 41-yard field goal by Dylan Ritchie gave Northridge the lead, but Nitro Tuggle's second catch of the night has Northwood on top, 14-10. Tell me about your Health Market Student Athletes are next on 46.
Time now for the TV 46 Student Athletes of the Week, presented by Tony Letcher of Health Markets. We are honored to honor a couple great ones from both Northwood and Northridge today. We've got Callie Johnson, basketball and soccer player from Northwood. McLean Miller, running back here for Northridge. We'll start with the road team. And McLean, who, as you see, is in street clothes. So obviously a tough one to not be able to play tonight, I'm sure, McLean. But you play football and track, and you have a 4.0 GPA. How do you make it all work?
You know, I give a lot of credit to my parents. They're pretty strict, but it ends up working out for me. Yeah, I owe it all to them they're my support, and yeah.
You're going to go to North Dakota State, play Division I football next year. What does that mean to you, and why was North Dakota State the pick for you?
You know, obviously Division I is the highest level, so it's really important to me to be playing at that highest level. North Dakota State, even though they are far, they really make it seem like home, and I'm really excited to be there.
All right, any thoughts on a major yet?
Not exactly sure. Probably something in business, maybe sales related.
And then finally, what has being a Northridge Raider meant to you in your life? How has it shaped who you are today?
Yeah, for sure. The culture is amazing. Everything Coach Epp and the other coaches have taught us, they prepare us for not only football, but they prepare us for life. So everyone succeeds as soon as they graduate from Northridge High School. They definitely set us up for a good future.
McLean, thank you very much. Congratulations. All right, Callie Johnson, Northwood senior, plays basketball, plays soccer. You have above a 4.0 GPA, we'll say, because she's ranked number 1 in the senior class, and she's also very involved at her church as well. How in the world do you make this all work?
I would give credit to my parents, too. They've really taught me how to do that. I feel like time management and just staying on top of everything, trying to get everything done when I can, and just really planning out my schedule ahead of time, and just always having that grit to keep going no matter how busy the schedule gets.
You got to do a mission trip to the Dominican Republic. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I loved it. It was so crazy to see like the culture and how it's so different there, and just to see how like their faith is different there. And just the kids, I loved playing basketball and soccer and just loving on those kids and just showing that love there. It was an amazing experience for sure.
And you want to be an orthodontist, and you want that to be involved with mission work. Explain that.
So I'm obviously gonna have to go through dental school, and then I want to end up as an orthodontist or a dentist and go to the third world countries and like give them that service that they probably don't get there, that like dental service and cleaning and just simple things like that they might not have access to every day. So
That's awesome. Finally, what has being a Northwood Panther meant to you, and how has it shaped who you are today?
it's shaped me in so many ways. I mean, this community is awesome. We always back each other up, always have each other's backs. You can see the community's support everywhere we go. It's meant a lot, and just the support we have and the love we have for one another, it's truly a family here.
Callie, thank you very much. Congratulations. That's Callie Johnson from Northwood, McLean Miller from Northridge. Two outstanding student athletes this week, presented by Tony Letcher. Your first half stats and a look to the second half next on the TV46 Game of the Week.
Halftime here at Andrews Field, the Red Regiment of Northwood High School performing to entertain the crowd, who's been entertained by a first half that sees Northwood on top of Northridge 14-10. Welcome inside Martin Supermarket broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt with Angelo DiCarlo on the sidelines, and this one pretty much what we expected. Back and forth, two really good football teams battling that out who could see each other in the postseason again.
Yeah, what we didn't really expect in this game was the way the defense has really stepped up. I thought we'd see a little bit more offense in that first half. Yeah, they put up 24 total points between the two teams, but the defenses, I think, are really getting pressure on the quarterbacks, and I think that's what's kind of changed the dimensions of this game.
Let's show you how it got to be this way through a first half that saw Northwood strike first with a 75-play, 12-yard drive capped by this pass to Nitro Tuggle, but then here comes Northridge. Braden Clark to Aiden Ritchie. Clark finds his buddy Chase Clark, who takes it deep into Northwood territory, and a little bit later on, Clark on the quarterback sneak. We're tied at 7 with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Owen Rader comes up and throws, and Connor Roth is able to pick him off. Northridge had some business going, and they converted in the second quarter with a 41-yard field goal from Dylan Ritchie to make it 10-7 Raiders. But back comes Owen Rader and the Northwood Panthers. Beautiful catch here by Josiah Edmond to keep the drive alive as he takes it up to the midfield stripe. A little bit later, that combo would click again on a 3rd and 25, a 20-yard pickup would set it up for a 4th and goal from the 5-yard line. Nitro Tuggle's second touchdown catch of the year, or second touchdown catch of the night as he high points it. And a look at the first half stats, find the total yards pretty even, but the way the teams get there are a lot different.
And I think the big key thing here is when you look at rushing yards. Traditionally, these two teams, Northwood, Northridge, you're going to see 100 yards rushing on each team in the first half. We only have 60 total yards rushing between the two of these teams in the first half. But again, Northridge is one of the teams that wants to really run the ball a little bit more. They weren't able to have that success.
What didn't show up on the stat sheet, key play of that first half, special teams. Northridge tried to get a little tricky with the punt.
Yep.
It backfired on them. It was only a 9-yard punt, and Northwood took advantage of great field position. But for Northridge, they'll start the second half receiving the kickoff. We'll see what happens when we come back. 14-10 in favor of Northwood. This has been the St. Joe County Police Department halftime report. Second half play-by-play from Andrews Field comes your way next on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt, and Angelo DiCarlo back with you from Jim Andrews Field in Napanee. Let's get a Bills Heating sideline report before the third quarter gets underway. Ange, what did Chad Epley have to say at the break?
Pretty straightforward. He was very pleased with the way the defense played in the first half against the big weapons that Northwood possesses. Offensively, he said, we just have to score more points. We have to take advantage of those possessions that we've had. We've gotten too many possessions where we're not scoring points. He said they made the adjustments that he hopes will allow them to get on the scoreboard because he knows Northwood's going to put up some points as well.
You see the camera bouncing as people are getting back into their seats in the bleachers here at Jim Andrews Field. Some numbers from the first half that we didn't go over individually. Owen Rader, 14 of 20 for 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, but the 1 interception. Braden Clark was 6 of 13 tossing the football around. Excuse me, 7 of 13 for 67 yards. But really, he only had 10 yards passing after that first drive.
Yeah, and I think that's something we might see the second half with Clark and Northridge, is working that ball down the field. In the middle of the field was wide open. They can work those seams just a little bit more because their running game really wasn't doing a whole lot as it was going down.
So Dominic DeFreitas will kick it off for Northwood to start the second half. And Northridge hoping they can do something with the tandem of Tucker Baber and Bradley Borsotti back deep. But this one goes down to Baber at the 2. Baber with a burst, gets by a couple of people and gets out to the 28 before he's gang tackled by a bunch of black jerseys there. Nice return to give Northridge pretty decent field position to start the second half, and there's one of the iconic shots of Northern Indiana football, the water tower that looms over Andrews Field.
That water tower has haunted my dreams a couple of times in my life. But as we get ready to go here in the third quarter is sponsored by Topping Dental Group. I'd like to thank them for sponsoring our third quarter and all of our sponsors tonight.
So there you see Braden Clark coming out onto the field. Solid first half. Probably more upset with his kicking than he is with anything else that happened in that first half. Raiders playing without their starting running back, McLean Miller, out with an injury tonight. But they've run the ball decently. Not that time, though. Beautiful defense by Northwood is coming in and making the play as Keith Miller, the outside linebacker, who gets his second tackle for loss of the season.
Yeah, Miller came in and really disrupted that. You can see they're trying to run an option play. Quarterback goes back at an angle. I talk about that all the time when you run that option play. You cannot veer back, fade back just a little bit. You got to attack that line of scrimmage so you can keep your spacing with the running back.
Two back set here for Northridge, looking at a 2nd and 14. And they'll give it off. And that was not sure what that was. A different running back getting the carry that time. As Northridge sending out some different personnel here in the third quarter.
Northridge still trying to sustain and develop that running game here early in the second half, similar to what they did in the first half.
So it'll be a 3rd and 10 after the carry. Braden Clark working from the gun as he has most of the night. Drops to pass. Chase Clark out in the flat, tripped up at the 34-yard line, well short of the first down marker. It'll be 4th and 4.
That was a nice play, bringing the running back out of the backfield. Little wheel route, hitting him. Just didn't hit him on stride. Hits him on stride, he might pick up a first down in that series.
By the way, Austin Parks was the ball carrier on that first carry of the, or actually the second down play in the drive. So now, decision time for Chad Upley. He likes to fancy himself a gambling man. We'll see what he does here on 4th and 4. The play clock already under 10. And I think Chad's going to have to use a timeout here. And he will with 9:42. Well, the clock on the scoreboard's still going, and it ticked off about 3 seconds after the timeout was called, but we'll keep it here. And a reminder, Friday nights on Pulse FM, Anj and I talk all things high school football as we break down the games in Michiana, what's going on with different teams, and fill you in with interviews with coaches and players. It's the Tire Rack Drive to the Game. When do you listen to it, Bo?
6 to 6:30 every single Friday night.
The correct answer is on your drive to the game here on Pulse FM.
But I'm not able to because I'm already at the game.
This is so.
When Panther fans are hungry, they can go to Cook's Pizza. Whether you're hungry for pizza, chicken strips, breadsticks, bread and mushrooms, or ice cream, Cook's Pizza can feed your family or your whole team. You can also find the same great food at Jimtown Pizza in Jimtown. And a big thank you to Cook's Pizza for feeding our hungry crew prior to tonight's game.
Man, that crew is never completely satiated, but they're always smiling after we have some Cook's Pizza. 4th and 4. Clark from the gun, hoping to get Northwood to jump. They did not, so Clark's going to throw. Chase Clark makes the grab. No, he dropped it. It's incomplete, and Northwood will take over at the Raider 34.
Again, Coach Epley, willingness to take some risks, take some chance, understand that he really likes his offense. You just got to succeed in those plays.
So for the second time tonight, Northridge has set up Northwood with a short field. The last time it was at the 27, and the Panthers were able to punch it in with a Nitro Tuckle touchdown. Let's see what they can do here in plus territory, leading by 4 with 9:34 to go here in the third quarter. Trey Woods split wide to the left, Nitro Tuckle to the right. Josiah Edmond in the backfield, and it's Edmond on the carry off the left side, and he battles his way for about 2 yards on the play.
Don't let a clogged pipe or ruin your pipes. Call Moore Custom Drain Cleaning. It only takes one clog to cause a disaster. If you need a drain cleaning service, turn to the experts at Moore Custom Drain Cleaning. They offer professional drain cleaning services throughout Elkhart County, and go Panthers.
It is a 2nd and 8. Landon Perry comes back to join Raider, and Raider throws it backwards. Perry steps up, Nitro wide open, has it at the 10. He'll go down to the 5.
A little trickery in the back pocket of Coach Andrews.
A 32-yard pickup for the Panthers, and they'll have it 1st and goal at the 4. You get another look from Springer Dental Care.
Just a great job of getting the ball out there. Understand you don't have to throw it past the receiver in that situation. Take the yards that you're giving. He's wide open. Get it to him down the field and pick up the big play.
Owen Raider looking for the end zone. Touchdown Northwood. It's sponsored by Laurie Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates. And the Panthers with their biggest lead of the night. You get another look from Springer Dental Care. Beautiful blocking on the outside that time by Northwood, as Grant Clemens led the way from the guard spot.
Just a great job with Northwood coming out in their first series, putting some points up on the board to take an even bigger lead here in the second half.
Dominic DeFreitas on to try the extra point. It is up, and it is good. And the Northwood Panthers take advantage of the short field and cash it in. Owen Raider with 2 touchdown passes and now a touchdown run. 8:38 to go in the third. Panthers lead at 21-10 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by HealthLink, your community health center. So a couple of decisions to either have the quarterback punt or not punt tonight have cost Northridge, because you put Northwood inside your 50, you're playing with fire.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with the field position tonight. Twice, Northridge has gave them great field position, and Northwood's taken advantage of that. And you have to in those situations when the team's going to be unwilling to punt and go for it in those situations. You have to be able to take advantage of those situations and put points on the board.
I'll tell you, watching Dominic DeFreitas punt, this guy is really an artist, isn't he? He has been able to put Baber back to the 1-yard line twice in a row. This one he's going to knock into the end zone for the touchback. He is a weapon.
Go ahead.
No, I just said DeFreitas is a weapon.
Yes, he is. Speaking of weapons, and kick sponsors, Ritchie Auto Sales, are located on Main Street in Middlebury, proudly support the Northridge Athletics, and would like to give a special shout out to number 40, Dylan Ritchie. Have a great season. Find your next car at Ritchie Auto Sales. Go Raiders.
The Northridge offense has really stalled out since the second quarter. They got a 41-yard field goal from Dylan Ritchie with 10 minutes left in the first half. And over the last 12 and a half minutes of football, they really haven't moved the football all that much. Maybe 1 or 2 first downs in that whole time. So we'll see what they can do here trailing 21-10. Critical series for the Raiders, and Braden Clark keeps it on the ground, tries to push the pile forward. He maybe picked up 2 yards on the play. 5 carries and 16 yards so far tonight for Clark. Keegan Stats credited with the tackle that time. Tough to see that majestic beard behind the helmet, but he's got one.
It is tough from up here especially, but look for Clark maybe to look, again, for Northridge and Clark to look to the middle of the field, up the field a little bit. They really had a lot of success getting their receivers in the middle of the field.
And Clark, nope, he's going to go to the outside, and he's got a man wide open. Hostetler couldn't hang on.
Wow. Again, a drop pass, about the 3rd or 4th one tonight that we've seen out of Northridge. Opportunities after opportunities, and you cannot drop passes, especially like that.
I mean, Judah Hostetler was lonely out there. Granted, the ball hung up on him a little bit as Clark underthrew him, but that was certainly a catchable football.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies in South Bend is globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working toward a great finish. Thank you, Imagineering, for your continued support of high school sports on TV 46.
3rd and 8, and Clark in trouble. He's going to try to run for it, and he's not even close. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it, because the Northwood defense may be underrated on this team. Carson Trafon came in, Caden Trafon came in and made the hit that time. Had help from Kanye Tucker. This is a unit that's giving up less than 200 yards a game in its first 3 games and only 14 points a contest. And they have held Northridge in check, as we mentioned, since the 2nd quarter. And again, and this time the punt is partially blocked. And Northwood will fall on it at the 33-yard line, and again, they'll have great field position.
Not sure if Richie is hurt or something's going on in this situation, but looking at that play right there, the snap came a little bit too early. Clark wasn't able to step back before the snap came, and it was partially blocked, as you said.
And now the officials trying to figure out where exactly to spot this ball. And they're going to put it down at the 27-yard line.
Field position again for Northwood. Wow.
So if you look at the last 2 scoring drives for Northwood started at the Northridge 27 and the Northridge 34. And now they have it again at the Raider 27. And you're just making it real easy for Owen Raider and company right now. Raiders going to put Landon Perry back there with them again. Last time they did that, Perry threw a halfback pass. This time it's Josiah Edmond trying to get around the outside. Couldn't quite turn the corner and stepped out of bounds at the 20 after a 7-yard pickup.
KZ Recreational Vehicles is proud to support athletics in Northern Indiana. KZ, a top RV manufacturer, is built on the foundations of integrity and family culture. Work for KZ and drive home with a sense of belonging, pride, and a great career. Go Raiders.
Edmond, a transfer from Warren Central High School down by Indianapolis. Raider with the pump fake, all kinds of time. Dumps it outside to Edmond. Edmond with a move and a beautiful open field tackle by Northridge. A heck of a game tonight for that outside linebacker, Corbin Collett.
Flags in the secondary again, in the area where Tuggle was.
I'm just biting my lip until we see what the call is. The discussion ensues among the officials on the headset. It's a holding call against Northridge.
2 flags that time in the area of the holding call.
That'll be a first down for Northwood, sponsored by Moore Custom Drain Cleaning. And it's going to give the Panthers the ball first down, and I think they're going to put it at the 11, so yep. 1st and 10. Owen Raider with a solid night tonight at quarterback. And he's looking to the end zone. Nitro Tuggle is there. He couldn't make the one-hand catch. He was well covered by Bradley Borsotti.
You can call it well covered. Definitely a lot of hands on Tuggle, but hey, that's the way they chose to play him tonight. Very physical with him. Get your hands all over him. A little pushing on both sides of the ball there.
2nd and 10. That's why I chose to say well covered. I wasn't going to try to officiate one way or the other on that one. Now they send Tuggle over to the other side. So let's see if Raider tries to come back to him on the short side of the field. That's where they threw the touchdown pass. Instead, it's Edmond out in the flat. Josiah Edmond trying to turn the corner and couldn't quite turn it. And then Bradley Borsotti levels him down at the 7. Pick up a 3 on the play.
Yeah, I think once you get down inside the 10, close to the 5, that's the area where you can do the jump pass area. Get outside the 10, it's a little bit harder to do the jump pass, especially when you're thrown to the far side of the field.
Well, you got Tuggle with single coverage out to the far left here. So let's see if that's where Raider goes. It's Tuggle with Borsotti out there. Trey Woods is in the slot. Play clock is down to 5. Raider, nope, he's going the other side and threw it too hard. He was trying to get it to Seth Russell. 4th and goal from there, and Dominic DeFreitas will come on to try a field goal to make this a 2-touchdown lead.
Canes is in season. Order online at raisingcanes.com or through their mobile app for cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, buttery Texas toast, and their craveable cane sauce. Big cheer for the new school year at Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
DeFreitas 1 for 1 on field goals this year. This will be a chip shot for him. 23 yards. It's up, and it is off to the right. He missed it wide, and the Northridge defense is able to hold after they appeared to be pinned back in their own end.
From here, it looked like it was just inside the upright, but definitely don't have the best view. Pushed it just a tad.
So 1st and 10 from the 20 for Northridge, trailing by 11 with 5:50 to go, 3rd quarter. This is a Northridge team that came in with a record of 2-1. They beat Fort Wayne North in their opener on the road. Fort Wayne North playing that night without their Notre Dame commit, Tay Johnson. They beat them 26-13. Then they beat Elkhart 35-29. I think that's the game that opened a lot of eyes. Losing to Mishawaka last week by a count of 37-16. They find themselves down by 11 in this one, but certainly not out of it yet.
No, they definitely have the ability to come back in this game, only down by 11, as you said, 2 scores. Need to put the ball in the air a little bit more, but they need to hold on to it. They need to go to receivers that want to hold on to that ball.
Well, and they might have wanted to hold on to it there, but it was a little bit high. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Trey Copeland was the intended receiver that time. Clark has misfired on 5 of his last 6 passes. Well, let's just say 5 of his last 6 passes have been incompletions. Whether it's been him misfiring or not, that's another story. Here's a run up the middle, one of the better runs we've seen from Derek Sherwood tonight, but it only picks up 6.
You looking for your dream home? Embrace the pace in Neppanee's newest neighborhood development, the Wellfield Community. The multi-generational development by R. Yoder Construction offers villa options along with single-family and estate home properties, all designed to suit your unique taste and lifestyle. Start your journey at wellfieldcommunity.com.
3rd and 5 on the 25. Northridge had 7 first downs in the first half. They're still looking for their first down of the second half. Play action, throw to the outside, but Ritchie is short of the first down. He was only able to pick up a yard on the play. It'll be 4th and 3 and another big decision for Chad Epley. How many times is he going to gamble tonight?
Well, and kudos to this Northwood defense as well. Ever since that first drive where Northridge really just kind of went down the field, this Northwood defense has really stepped up.
They've given up 143 yards tonight, but 80 of them were on the first drive of the game. So really, in the last quarter and a half, they haven't even touched what was given up on the first drive.
I think this is a situation where they're just going to go ahead and go for it. They're not even going to drop back and punt.
4th and 3. Edmonds showing blitz. He's holding. The throw out to Ritchie. He's got the first down and more. Ainsley Ritchie thrown down with violence at the 39-yard line, but a first down, and they'll move the chains with a first down sponsored by Stutzman Power Equipment up to the 38. You get another look from Springer Dental Care.
Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been serving Napanee and the surrounding area since 1969. They're committed to what they do and are here to serve you for your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, building lasting solutions.
Ainsley Ritchie just made that catch, a 3-sport athlete at Northridge, and he's got his first 3 catches of the season in this game tonight. Braden Clark, quarterback draw. Nice run by Clark that time. He picks up 7. Clark with 6 carries for 23 yards tonight.
Northridge finally able to move the ball. Ever since the first quarter, they haven't really been able to move that ball down the field and pick up consecutive first downs. Here they have a great opportunity to pick up another Stutzman Power Equipment first down.
Kind of feel like with the size advantage that Northridge has over the defensive line of Northwood, that maybe you're better to go right ahead and right at them. Now, Northwood trying to negate that size advantage, putting some of their big offensive linemen in the game, but Sherwood was still able to score through the hole and picking up 2 on the play, and that'll set up a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, Miller coming from the backside. That's the biggest thing there, is coming off a little bit of a blitz on the backside on that last play to make the tackle.
71, Max Parsiak in the game for Northwood. That's 299 pounds of junior lineman right there. And I think he's gummed up the works a little bit against Northridge tonight.
Yeah, I think making that change in their defensive front has really helped out for Northwood.
3rd and 1. Clark keeps it himself, has the first down as he gets just past the midfield stripe and moves the chains for Stutzman Power Equipment.
Topping Dental Group, our 3rd quarter sponsor, proudly supports high school athletics with offices in Napanee, Elkhart, and Middlebury. Topping Dental Group, making smiles that last a lifetime.
For all the angst that goes into this game, and it's a rivalry, and you know that both sides get juiced up for the other, seen nothing but great sportsmanship between the 2 teams here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they're letting it play out on the field in their actions, not with a lot of talk or anything like that. They're letting their actions and the plays really define this game.
On 1st and 10, Sherwood with a big hole. Sherwood takes it up to the 35-yard line before Keith Miller finally wrestles him down, but that's a pickup of 14 and another Stutzman Power Equipment first down.
Just a great job of reading the hole by Sherwood, seeing where he can get through the line of scrimmage, doing a great job of making the hole for him. Big first down and another first down for Northridge.
1st and 10 from the Northwood 35. This is some of Northridge's deepest penetration of the last 2 quarters, and Clark with another go-ahead run goes down at the 32.
Nice first down pickup for Clark. Important for them to get positive yard on first down.
Keith Miller with a ton of tackles tonight. He had 74 for this defense last year. Miller, a member of the wrestling team where he has had Nate Andrews as his coach, but Nate's stepping away from the wrestling duties so he can spend more time with his family. 2nd and 7 from the 32. Clark in trouble. Josiah Edmond throws him down at the 37.
A nice straight up blitz by Edmonds off the edge. Clark never saw him, and Edmonds got in there quick.
There's nobody who touched him, and then Josiah decides to take a pony ride.
Hey, calling all foodies. State and Main Tap and Table is Middlebury's newest family-friendly sports bar. So come take a little bit of local history while enjoy your take on some culinary classics, from appetizers to burgers to plates and desserts. State and Main Tap and Table has something for everyone in the family.
Clock running down on the Tire Rack scoreboard for the 3rd quarter. Clark looks to throw, scrambles, fires, has his man, up the field, stepping out of bounds with his first catch of the night is Zach Baugh. He goes out at the 13, another first down sponsored by Stutzman Power Equipment. Pickup of 19 on the play for Zach Baugh.
Great job of rolling out here by Clark, still keeping his head up the field, little pump flake, finding his receiver, good hands, getting down the field and picking up the first down, making it 1st and 10 from the 14.
I really like the poise Clark showed there. He kept his
Yeah.
head up, looking downfield. Knew he was going to take a hit at the end of that play. Didn't phase him. 1st and 10 from the 13. Sherwood will take it up the middle, drag tacklers with them, and get up to the 8-yard line. And that is how the third quarter will end here at Jim Andrews Field in Napanee. Northwood and Northridge, as expected, just firing salvos at one another. The passion's running high in this Elkhart County rivalry, but Northwood leads at 21-10. Let's all go to the fourth on 46. And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies. IFT, where quality is a way of life. The folks at Northwood thinking they're at Camp Randall with a little bit of jump around here between the third and fourth quarters. We jump downstairs for a Bill's Eating Sideline report. Angelo DiCarlo, do I sense a momentum shift in this game right now?
You know, it's really interesting, isn't it? The way Northridge has gambled in the second half, especially, it has not necessarily worked to their advantage, but Northwood hasn't capitalized. And here Northridge is, if you can punch one in here, you're very much in this game, especially with the way their defense is playing. You have to start believing, if you're Northridge, certainly, if you can get a score here. But it's going to be very difficult, obviously, against Miller and Edmond.
Scoreboard says 3rd and 5, but the down marker says 2nd and 5, and quite frankly, I trust the down marker a little bit more. 2nd and 5 at the 8. Clark throws. He's got a man coming out of the backfield, but there was no room to run that time, as it was well pursued by Josiah Edmond in this Northwood defense. Trey Copeland just had nowhere to go, and it'll be 3rd down and 5 from the 8.
Edmond's ability to close in the gap is just amazing. That right there was just a great job of his ability to close and make an open field tackle in the amount of time to get there. The guy was just behind the line of scrimmage. Edmonds 3 to 4, and he met him at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 5. Clark rolling. In trouble. Has nowhere to go and just flings it wildly, and it's incomplete. And I'm surprised Northwood is not looking for an intentional grounding call there.
Yeah, I mean, there was I guess, a receiver in the area, but that's a dangerous throw. I know you don't want to take the sack in that situation.
So now the flag comes out well after the play was over, and here's the intentional grounding call against Northridge. And it's going to force them to try to go for a field goal with Dylan Ritchie. That's a loss of down on that penalty, so it'll be 4th down from the spot of the throw, which means Ritchie will be trying a 42-yard field goal this time. The wind is calm here. It's not blowing at all anymore in Napanee tonight, so that's not a factor. It's just a matter of Ritchie can put enough foot into it. His kick is sponsored, ironically, by Ritchie Auto Sales.
Definitely has the leg. We've seen that before the game, during warm-ups, and a 41-yarder earlier in the game.
This would tie his long for the season at 42. Connor Roth handles the snap. The kick is short. Missed it to the left. And the Northwood defense holds.
Yeah, it looked like the snap was just a little off. Took a little bit of time getting the ball set. Not sure if he got it completely set before Ritchie put his leg into it.
So Northwood takes over 1st and 10 at its own 20. Up by 11 with 11:09 to go. And it'll be interesting to see how Nate Anders and his staff handle this situation. Do you get conservative here, or do you go for the kill shot?
I think they just play their game. They continue to play their game. And I've seen Nate enough over the years where he will continue to play his game, play his offense how they best do it. A lot of times we see the shotgun. They've been up big in games. They still run that shotgun offense. Well, that's their offense. That's what they run.
Well, let's face it, the opening drive of the game tonight, 4.5 minutes, but it was dink and dunk, and it chewed up time, put points on the board. Here's Rader on a quarterback draw. That may not have been the best idea. He is snowed under at the line of scrimmage after a loss of 1. There were all kinds of big bodies there, including John Michelin.
Martin's Supermarket's Groceries to Go annual subscriptions are now available. Just $29.99 for the year. You get ad pricing, digital coupons, recipes directly from your account. Learn more at martinsgroceriestogo.com.
Trey Woods able to get to the outside, and he picks up what appears to be a first down, sponsored by Moore Custom Drain Cleaning, as Bradley Borsotti knocks him out at the 30-yard line. That'll move the chains. 10-yard pickup on the play. Woods has had another good night. 4 catches, 34 yards. First and 10 from the 20, or the 30, excuse me. Rader from the gun. Josiah Edmond on the end around. And there's nothing there. Brock Thompson was able to trip him up. And Edmond goes down back at the 24, a loss of 6. One thing we've seen that has to be a little disappointing to the Northwood coaches is that they appear to be a one-dimensional football team, at least tonight. They have not been able to run the ball. They only have 11 yards rushing.
No, just some of the plays that they've been able to successfully get on the running game have really only been Rader up the middle. I mean, that's the only thing that they've actually had a little bit of success at. And they're another bad snap.
And Rader will fall on it back at the 17. That's another loss of 7.
This game health tip is brought to you by HealthLink. Quality health insurance is linked to a healthier life. If you or someone you know needs help navigating the world of health insurance, HealthLink can help. Navigators can assist with enrolling in Marketplace, Medicare, Medicaid, health coverage at no cost to you. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more.
3rd and 22 from the 18. Nitro Tuggle at the bottom of your screen with the pink gloves. And Rader is back to pass and looking downfield, and Tuggle is open behind everybody, but he overthrew him.
Stepped up in the pocket, saw Tuggle down the field, just got it more down the field than on a line. Could have hit Tuggle right across the middle for a big gain and probably 6 points.
If he catches it where he was, you could cue the fight song. But instead, 4th and 22 and punting time. And let's see if Northridge goes for the punt block here with Dominic DeFreitas in there. Tucker Babers back deep. Brock Thompson almost got to that one. Instead, it takes a Northwood roll, and it'll die at the 37-yard line. So Northridge takes over with 9:02 to go in the game. They got to go 63 yards, and then they have to score again. We do have a flag down on the far side of the field, so hold everything here. Mike Epling getting the discussion from one of his officials.
Still walking. Haven't made the call yet.
I'm thinking they may just wave the flag off. We'll see. We got a personal foul on Northwood and personal foul on Northridge. Offsetting penalties happened after the kick. 1st and 10 from the 38.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Little scrap over on the far side. Didn't really have to do with the play. Fellas, break it up. Don't let it happen again.
Yep, let's move the game
along.
along.
I can see that. Braden Clark gives it off to Sherwood, and Sherwood tries to get the outside and nearly gets decapitated by Josiah Edmond, a pickup of 6.
I really like the way their offensive line is blocking here in the late in the 3rd and here into the 4th quarter. They're really getting surge off the ball, giving Sherwood and Clark some room to run.
You feel at this point of the game, though, Northridge has to pick up the tempo a little bit?
I do, but they're still trying to stick to their game, keep the ball on the ground.
Well, they just did that with Sherwood, but he's a yard short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. Sherwood has been a workhorse tonight, and he appears to be injured on the play. And this is a real rough blow for Northridge because they're already at the second string running back. We will take a timeout as well. 8:21 to go in regulation. We'll come back and update you on the condition of Derek Sherwood when we return. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by the IHSAA, keeping education in front of athletics. 3rd and 1. It was a cramp for Derek Sherwood. We hope he'll be able to come back. Braden Clark with a first down. It's sponsored by Stutzman Power Equipment. They'll put it right down at the midfield stripe. Northridge trailing 21-10 with 8:10 to go.
Be interesting to see what type of plays they do now with Sherwood and Miller not able to play tonight, of course.
Well, we saw Austin Parks in the game earlier get a carry, and he's in there now. And it's Parks taking the handoff and puts his head down and picks up about 2 yards on the play. But it stands to reason when you're at your 3rd string running back, maybe the productivity is not going to be what you get from a Miller or a Sherwood.
Yeah, and they're still sticking to that running game up the middle.
That's where they've had their greatest success. Clark has had occasional looks down the field, but I think Northwood's done a lot to try to take that away. Here he goes, though, to the outside. Zach Ball with a catch. He spun out of bounds at the 39-yard line, but that'll move the change for Stutzman Power Equipment. And Zach Ball with a couple of nice catches here in the second half.
You can improve your future at Ivy Tech. The goal isn't graduation day, it's a better every day. Ivy Tech degrees transfer to more than 100 colleges and universities, plus alumni earn an average of $10,000 more with a 2-year degree. Enrollment is open for an October 23rd start. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
1st and 10 from the 39 for Northridge, trailing by 11. The handoff to Parks again. He squeezes out about 2 yards on the play.
Big shout out to Cook's Pizza for being our 4th quarter sponsor. Cook's Pizza. You can also find the same great food at Jimtown Pizza in Jimtown. Big thank you for feeding our crew tonight.
So Derek Sherwood has come back out on the field. As you saw Zimmerman and Chupp make the tackle that time for Northwood, it's 2nd and 8. There's Sherwood. And they're going to test him right away. And he carries the pile forward for about a yard on the play. But that had less to do with a lack of burst and more to do with no room to run.
Yeah, just no ability to get upfield because there's no place to run. And I think you talked about, you know, sticking with this running game, the pressure that Northwood's been able to do with blitzes and really getting to Clark hasn't allowed him to even work anything downfield.
They have used Keith Miller a lot defensively tonight to put pressure. Now they've got him back as a defensive back, but Clark goes over the top and he's got a touchdown. Zach Baugh makes the touchdown catch on a 35-yarder, and the Raiders are right back in it.
Wow, what a great pass by Clark right down the seam. KZRV sponsored scoring there. Clark, money ball.
What a beautiful dime from Braden Clark, and now Northridge will go for 2 because that would put them within a field goal. By the way, the touchdown sponsored by KZRV. And the look over to the sideline, the play clock going. This play being signaled in, and it looks like Braden Clark and company have it. They're going to line a big man up in the backfield. That's Wyatt Bowles. They used that formation back in the 1st quarter. They'll pitch out to Sherwood. Sherwood turns the corner, and he got in for 2. Derek Sherwood pushes it in, and with 6:11 left, Northridge has closed to within a field goal of Northwood at 21-18.
Well, just a great job of Northridge not giving up and just doing exactly what they need to do. Here's a Springer Dental Care replay. You know, they work the run, and then hit it right over the top. And I love how they run their power I formation for that 2-point conversion.
Here's the thing about Zach Baugh. They didn't throw to him at all in the first half. They didn't even target him once. And then they break him out in the second half. He's had 3 big catches here in the second half for 63 yards and a touchdown. And the Raider offense, which was sleepwalking through the middle quarters, has come to life.
Yeah, definitely have. And just a great job by Northridge really understanding their game and just the field advantage position-wise that Northwood's had in this game over Northridge is just unbelievable.
Well, let's go down to Angelo DiCarlo, who has gone over to the Northridge sideline. I imagine there has to be a little bit of momentum over there right now, my friend.
Yeah, we mentioned momentum earlier, but now really, look at this. It's 21-18 with 6:11 left in the game. It's felt like it's been Northwood's game for a while. Northridge has hung around long enough, and here they are within 3 against an opponent. They've had their number in the postseason. Very much belief, and you can feel that on the sideline. It's not like, hey, guys, we're back in it. It's, hey, guys, we got a chance. We can do this right now.
Kickoff sponsored by Ritchie Auto Sales. Nitro, Tuggle, and Trey Woods back deep, but they flip sides. Did Dylan Ritchie pick up on it? You bet he did. He'll send this one hurtling into the end zone for the touchback.
I know Bill Sharp remembers the side switch back in the day.
Who'd you switch with?
Switched with Hammonds. Yep. They were told, Gleddy was told not to kick to my side. And of course, it was snowing
kick to
out.
Your side.
He did kick to my side until we switched. Yoder, or Stutzman Power Equipment, where you can get the tools and equipment for all your outdoor needs, specializing in Kubota, Steel, Toro, Simplicity, and Skag. Check them out online at stutzmanpower.com. Stutzman Power Equipment, where service is their #1 product, proud to support high school athletics.
Owen Rader, another low snap. Oh, it's almost intercepted. Connor Roth could have taken that one to the house if he gets his hands around it. He nearly drew the pick 6 in the power ball.
Yeah, again, that same pass route, he undercut it. And the reason he was able to undercut it because the snap was low. It took more time to get that ball out there in the flats.
Raiders 16 of 26 tonight with an interception, 136 yards. He wants to throw deep here. Flag comes out. The throw is intercepted. Tucker Baber has it for Northridge and brings it back down the field to the 30. Let's see what the flag is all about. So it looks like it's a holding call on Northwood. And Northridge will take over at the 30. So a big break for the Northridge Raiders. They take it over 1st and 10 at the Northwood 30. And now they've got a chance to take the lead with 5:53 left. We get another look from Springer Dental Care.
Just a great job of sitting back in center field and picking that ball off. And here they're in business with Sherwood.
Sherwood running the ball and picks up about 7 on the play. Derek Sherwood tonight with 19 carries for 75 yards. And Northridge looking at a 2nd and 3. You see the clock, a little tough to read, but 5.5 minutes to go in this one in regulation. Raiders already in field goal range, but they're thinking touchdown. Braden Clark with the carry. Squeezes out, and he's got the first down. Sponsored by Stutzman Power Equipment. Clark with 10 carries, 27 yards, but he seems to have found the big yards when they need them.
Well, yeah, and Epley definitely wants to just run this clock as much as possible. Northwood does have the 3 timeouts on the board, so they're going to be calling them here probably within this next series if they are able to pick up another first down.
From the 19. Blitzer coming on the outside. Clark ran it up the middle, though. Josiah Edmond managed to foil the play anyway, and he had some help that time as Landon Zimmerman came in and made the hit from his defensive end spot. It'll be 2nd and 10. Zimmerman, a wrestler, here at Northwood, only a junior. He's had a pretty good season on the defensive line. Sherwood again tries to get around the left side, kept his pad level nice and picked up 5.
He got hit at the line of scrimmage and was still able to pick up about 7.5 yards on that play. Just a great job of lowering the head, driving the legs. Here you can see he gets hit right there in the backfield. Great job of just getting upfield.
They have that stat, Yak, yards after contact. He would have had 6 yards after contact right there. That's what he got on the gain, 3rd and 4. Sherwood, left side. Did he get the first down? Yes, he did. He's still on his feet and down to the 4. First down sponsored by Stutzman Power Equipment. Derek Sherwood now with 95 yards on 21 carries. And he has really been a horse here in the second half.
Just a great job of driving the legs, getting down the field. You can feel the momentum and feel the confidence that Northridge has.
Sherwood again dances through the hole. Touchdown, Northridge. It's sponsored by KZRV, and the Raiders are back on top with 3:35 to go. What a run by Derek Sherwood, but he is getting some dynamite blocking. And that time it was Joan Carr who came up and made the big block. So now Dylan Ritchie on to try the extra point. The touchdown sponsored by KZRV. Ritchie Auto Sales sponsors the extra point. The kick is on its way. It is good. And with 3:35 to go, Northridge trying to shake up Class 4A a little bit. The Raiders lead number 4 Northwood 25-21 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Raising Cane's Craveable Chicken Finger Meals. One love. Take a look at Derek Sherwood over on that far side. What a story he is tonight. McLean Miller, the young man committed to go to North Dakota State, their top running back on the year, out with a back injury. Here's Sherwood. Once again pressed into the understudy role as he was last year in the tournament in games against Riley and Logansport when he ran for over 100 yards. And he's knocking at the door of 100 yards tonight with 99 and a go-ahead touchdown.
What a way to come out and perform on a Friday night amongst your peers in a rivalry game on the big setting, man. Sherwood just having a game.
But before you count anybody out, 3:35 to go. And Northwood has some explosive talent out there on the field, including at the kick return spots.
They only need about 3 seconds on that scoreboard to put some points on the board. So there's plenty of time for Northwood in this situation.
Dylan Ritchie's kickoff sponsored by Ritchie Auto Sales. End over end into the end zone. Touchback. And so Owen Rader, who has thrown his first 2 interceptions of the season here tonight, comes onto the field with a chance for redemption. 80 yards to drive his team to a game-winning touchdown.
I think for Northwood, they just need to settle into their game, do exactly what they've been doing, get the ball to their playmakers. Don't try to anticipate things. Just in basketball, when you try to anticipate a pass, same thing with football. Don't stare down a receiver, because that's going to give Northridge the advantage. But Northridge, they need to put pressure on Rader. I think they need to bring some blitzers. They need to get in the backfield, not give him time.
It'll be interesting to see the chess match that unfolds over the final 3:35. Good snap to Rader this time, and he has time to throw, and does, and it's incomplete. It was over the head of Nitro Tuggle, and too short for Landon Perry.
Look like they're running a drag route across the middle of the field with Tuggle coming all the way across, just led him a little bit too far on that pass.
Rader incomplete on his last 3 passes. Tuggle has been the favorite target tonight. Understood. He is the young man committed to play at the University of Georgia next year. And he is wide to the left of Owen Rader here. And Rader is looking down the field. Has time. Fires, and over the head of Tuggle and incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10.
See if we can get a, didn't know if we had a replay of that one or not.
That one looked a little high, but Tuggle also didn't jump for it, so it's kind of hard to say. 3rd and 10. Raider again, now looking for Tuggle. He did jump for this one. He makes the catch, and he's all the way down to the 47. It'll be a first down after a pickup of 28 for Nitro Tuggle.
Great job of Tuggle going up for that pass, a little high by Raider, but just a great job of twisting the body, understanding body position. Great job by Tuggle on the Springer Dental Care replay.
9 catches, 100 yards for Nitro tonight. Excuse me, 90 yards.
Picks up a big first down for Northwood, sponsored by More Custom Drain Cleaning.
There's all kinds of personnel shuffling over there on the Northridge defense. 1st and 10 from the 48. Raider, quick out to Tuggle this time. And he gets met by Connor Roth and a bunch of other Raiders at the Northridge 48. A pickup of 4 on the play.
Trying to hit those quick routes to use, like you said earlier in the game, as their running game. Hit those underneath routes. They can see a great job of getting that ball out there quick. It's on top of somebody's and reaches that ball out, but they blew the whistle dead at that point when the ball came out.
10 catches for Tuggle tonight. Raider wants to throw again. Unloads, it's intercepted. Baber's second of the night. And that could do it. They're going wild on the Middlebury sidelines.
Just some big confusion down the field on some passing routes. Some receivers actually ran into each other. Ball was overthrown.
So Northridge has to kill 2.5 minutes to go. They showed up in their road crew gear tonight because they had some road work to do, and they have come to Andrews Field. A reminder, the road team has won the last 6 games in this series, and Northridge trying to make it 7 in a row right here.
3 first downs for Northwood. Still have plenty of time, but they got to stop the running game of Northridge and that guy, Mr. Sherwood.
They stymied it there with Zimmerman making the tackle after a pickup of 1 for Sherwood, who kind of looks like he's in the 15th round of a heavyweight fight. 100 yards for Sherwood tonight on 23 carries.
No timeouts yet by Northwood.
They have the full complement of 3 remaining. You would have to think after this play they might use one. 2nd and 9. Sherwood again. Boy, did he get beat by Josiah Edmond. And a timeout taken by Northwood. Get back, JoJo. Loss of 3 on the play.
I know Northridge wants Northwood to use another timeout here on the 3rd down play, but if you pick up the first down, you can almost guarantee that you can clinch this game.
The problem is if you throw an incomplete pass, you stop the clock for them.
Do you play not to win or not to lose, or do you play to win? That's the situation you're in right now.
Well, the funny thing is that guy, Chad Epley, has played to win, has taken some very big risks tonight that haven't paid off, that have resulted in Northwood getting probably
2 of those scores.
2 of those scores.
Yep.
And yet, he's still leading the game by 4 with 1:45 to go. Chad Epley got engaged this summer over at Bonneville Park. I asked him the other day at practice, well, when's the wedding? I know it's not during the season. He said, quite frankly, it's probably sometime in 2025. She says summer of 2024 is too soon. She needs time to plan.
Well, if the summer's too soon, you're definitely not doing it in the fall because that's football season.
That's exactly what he said. 3rd and 12 from the 45. Clark looks to throw. Pressure coming. Throws. What a catch by Hostetler, but he's short of the chains. It'll be 4th down and 1.
Oh,
wow.
Crucial time. They line up and go for a quarterback sneak real fast here. There's no timeout yet by Northwood.
I think that's the call, my friend. 4th and 1. Minute 23 to go.
I don't even know if it's a full one.
We saw them run the QB sneak down at the end zone. Timeout taken, and it's going to be taken by Northridge, and I really don't blame Chad Epley here. Get everybody on the same page. Because you get this first down, Northwood's only got 2 timeouts remaining. You should be able to close it out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you win the game on a first down. All you got to do is pick up 1 yard. 1 yard. And in this situation, I know a quarterback seek is the great call in this situation. The other call, if you were a team that lined up under center and running a lot of off tackles and stuff like that, would be the bootleg by the quarterback. Fake it up the middle. The old Peyton Manning 77 yards one time down the sideline.
Well, Braden Clark is 6'1", 195 pounds. The irony is he transferred from Fairfield because he didn't want to play triple option. Well, he may be the option quarterback on this one.
Yeah, but I like what they did down at the goal line on the 2-point conversion, though, as well, or on the touchdown. They lined up. They did the center sneak. They had Bales in the backfield, I believe, and they just had him just push the pile forward, and that might be exactly what they do right here. You get the big hosses right behind you, and you just do the old bush push.
That's the formation, and that's perfectly legal now, by the way, too.
Yep, it was then, too. But maybe not.
4th down. They say 1 on the scoreboard, but if we're going to be honest about it here, folks, it's about a foot. Braden Clark at quarterback gets in under center. He's going to give it off. Sherwood spun for the first down.
Wow.
It's sponsored by Stutzman Power Equipment. And Derek Sherwood, you might as well just find Angelo DiCarlo on the sidelines because that's who he's talking to in a little bit.
Yeah, he got hit in the backfield, a yard deep in the backfield, and still was able to spin his body and maneuver out of there. And there you go, Sherwood point. That's a first down.
They need to move the chains, though. They have not moved the chains yet. It's a first down.
First down, Northridge.
1st and 10, and the clock running.
It's down to 4.
And Northridge is going to have to use a timeout here because the rampant confusion.
I think a lot of it was, and they ran the clock all the way down to where they were going to snap the ball, but they didn't set the down markers up, and they looked like their players were actually watching and waiting for that before they'd even line up when the play clock was still running down at that moment.
What a win this would be for Chad Epley and his team. They had an emotional week last week. The loss of a classmate in an automobile accident, Eli Coyne from the lacrosse team. And Chad kind of admitted to me this week at practice he thought that affected his team. He didn't want to take anything away from Mishawaka. He said they came out here and beat us fair and square, but we were not the same team we had been the previous 2 weeks. Well, they're the same team they were the first 2 weeks. They're going to have wins over Fort Wayne North, Elkhart, and then come over to Northwood. I mean, if the season stopped today, a lot of people in Middlebury would say that was a great season.
Yeah, and you talk about the game. They played a really good first quarter and a fabulous fourth / a little bit of a third quarter. I mean, they still haven't played a full game yet.
They go into victory formation on the road at Northwood. It has become familiar territory for the Raiders. they have been able to win their last 4 trips to this stadium.
And that first down for Northridge was sponsored by Stutzman Power Equipment. You talk about power, Sherwood powered them to that first down and to this victory.
Derek Sherwood, I've got him at 25 carries, 100 yards, a big touchdown, a big 2-point conversion. And the Northridge Raiders have just upset the apple cart in the Northern Lakes Conference.
You talk about a powerful and very strong conference. You got Mishawaka, you got Northridge, you got Northwood.
Well,
oh,
Warsaw,
by the way, you got Warsaw in that mix, and you got Concord in that mix.
And Warsaw beat Concord tonight by a score of 10-3.
Wow.
Bart Curtis is doing it with defense this year, and they will play this Northwood team next week down in Tiger Country, and that should be a honey of a game. No timeouts remaining now for the Northwood Panthers. 46 seconds left. Clark able to kneel down. They'll have to take
one more, it looks like. They're about a half second off.
One more snap, and what a win for that man. Chad Epley, he's got 2 sectional titles in 2 years that have come at the expense of this Northwood team. And sometimes people try to say, well, Northwood didn't have all its people. Well, Northwood had all of its people tonight. It was Northridge who didn't. And yet the Raiders come out of here with a huge Northern Lakes Conference victory as they knock off the number 4 team in Class 4A by a final score of 25-21. Great sportsmanship all around as the handshakes go on. And we've got a lot to talk about on our St. Joe County Police Department postgame show, including our Canes player of the game and our electrifying play of the game. And it all comes your way next on the 46 Game of the Week.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by
the fans from Middlebury celebrating with their heroes after Northridge comes over to Jim Andrews Field and knocks off number 4 Northwood 25-21 in a Northern Lakes Conference thriller tonight. Welcome inside the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth for the St. Joe County Police Department halftime show, or excuse me, post-game show. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt with you. Here's what we know about this rivalry. Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing in the past 3 years.
Because it is as unpredictable as they get. An 11-point fourth quarter comeback for Northridge tonight. They were down 21-10 going to the fourth. They wind up winning it 25-21. Thanks to just a pounding offensive line and some big plays from their quarterback, Braden Clark.
Yeah, I thought for the most part of the game, and everybody here in the stands, that Northwood really controlled this game all the way in the fourth quarter. And then their offensive line kind of took over a little bit, and Sherwood just did a heck of a job running the ball in the fourth quarter.
Well, he sure did. 25 carries, 100 yards, and the game-winning touchdown. That helps make Derek Sherwood our Raising Canes player of the game, and he's standing by now with Angelo DiCarlo.
Wow. How does this feel?
I mean, it feels amazing. Just we all were working so hard for this, so much this season, just for this game, and just coming out here and beating them feels great.
You went down for a little bit there. Was that cramping?
Yeah,
and
cramping.
How did you get yourself back in there?
I just took mustard and just, I don't know, I just felt better like 2 plays after. So
How do you describe Northridge?
It's a huge rivalry. It always has been. Just we all worked so hard for this week, and it's just a huge rivalry.
McLean goes down, unable to play tonight. You had to step up, and obviously you stepped up in a big way. Take us through your mindset as this game was progressing and how much maybe your team was believing as that fourth quarter was coming and you guys were starting to make some positive strides.
Honestly, it was just all mindset for me because I'm a big nerves guy. Just meditating all week, just ice bathing, just doing all my stuff I could. And our O-line was a big part of it too. They just working it all week, just working hard and doing it.
What does this win do for this team for the rest of the season?
This win is definitely a big, like, I don't know the word, like, brings us up a lot for the rest of the season. Just good mindset for the rest of the season.
Congratulations, man. Great game.
Thank you.
Chuck and Bo, what a game. What a player of the game. Back to you.
They had the chicken soup game with Joe Montana in the Cotton Bowl. Maybe the Northridge fans will refer to this one as the mustard game in the future, thanks to Derek Sherwood getting those cramps resolved with the mustard. So he is our Raising Cane's player of the game. Well, mustard goes good with those chicken fingers.
Sure does.
How about we have our electrical workers local 153 electrifying play of the game, Bo? And the defense coming up with this one. Tucker Baber, a sophomore, had a tough personal foul early on in this one, redeemed himself with not one but two of these.
Yeah, and this was the big one. He just sat back in a center field, rolled it in. Raider with 3 uncharacteristic interceptions, but it relied on the defense. That Northridge defense was really sticking him, really putting pressure, and they were in the right position, undercutting those routes all night.
Well, here's the problem for Northwood, too. They couldn't run the ball, so that's our electrical workers local 153 electrifying play of the game. And when you become as one-dimensional as Northwood was tonight, it's tough to win.
Yeah, we talked about that off the air. Was about becoming one-dimensional. There's going to be a team that you're going to run up against. If you become one-dimensional, that you're not going to be able to win that game. Well, it happened tonight.
Yeah, that team was Northridge. A big win for Chad Epley's team. Both of these teams now 3-1 in what should be a wild Northern Lakes Conference that we'll get the chance to follow this year a little bit on TV 46. Our thanks to our TV 46 crew who helped bring you this one. Dean Korsmo, our production manager, still taking care of his lovely wife, Paula, but we have plenty of capable helpers, like the bubbly one, Tony Beltran, and Matt Kowalski working in that truck, along with Tommy Ward, the veteran on audio, and all of our men who work so hard to bring you high school football each every week. Reminder, college football on the radio Saturday at noon on Pulse FM. The Purdue Boilermakers venture to Blacksburg to take on Virginia Tech. And next Friday night will be at Everwise Freed Field in Mishawaka as the Penn Kingsmen and Elkhart Lions renew their rivalry. Live stream at 7 on TV 46 Friday night, 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Now for my broadcast partners, the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt and Angelo DiCarlo. Chuck Fraby, once again the final. Northridge 25, Northwood 21. So long from Napanee.